Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Asylum Podcast. Running a little bit late because I thought I wouldn't be mean and let you see the end of that video. So yeah, that was the great reveal. Unfortunately, Cals and JR aren't allowed to talk about their own project, but for some reason, my video got the go-ahead so that I could show it off. So I hope you guys liked it. I'll play the video again some point later in the stream, or I'll play it at the end. I've also stick it on the community hub if anybody wants to go and give it an upvote, and we'll tweet it out as well and everything else. But otherwise, if you want to watch it again, you can find it on the Asylum YouTube. If you do !Hunter in chat, you should be able to now get links to all of that, so you can go and watch it if you want. And of course, thank you, Uther O'Reilly, for letting me use your music as well. Very much appreciate that. It fit in very nicely with the painting, and I do, as JR says, I do actually listen to a lot of the stuff while I'm painting as well. It does get you in the mood. So yeah, I really appreciate that. But it was a great project. We, for some reason, we don't know why yet, but no one in Wilmslow has tweeted out pictures of seeing it. Maybe nobody noticed this Vanduul ship coming in. But yeah, so that's the Vanduul Hunter, for anybody that was wondering. But it was a really nice ship, a little bit fiddly with lots of little spiky bits. And for scale-wise, it's about the size of the Javelin. Length-wise, at least, it's nowhere near as wide. But yeah, so there we go. That was my what I've been up to. And yeah, thanks Toby as always for the subs and everybody else that subbed and the follows. Very much appreciated. And welcome to the Asylum. So, someone's tweeted it, have they? Let's have a little look.
That was the smoothest intro you've ever done.
Was it? Thank you.
Yeah, like honestly, you were just so natural with that, and it like transitioned perfectly. I was well impressed.
I've been practicing. I haven't really. It's only taken us 55 episodes. So with us this week we have the wonderful, the usual, the mountain goat, Mr. Buckbeard.
Oi.
And
Oi.
the one,
Oi.
the only, the person that can barely turn his own stream on but manages to do it more than the rest of us, Mr. Super Mac Brothers Ryan. Good evening to you, sir. Wait, yeah. So, what have you all been up to, Buck? What have you been up to this week? You can see what I've been doing, so let us know what you've been doing.
We're back at StarCitizen.
Really? No.
Yes. Trying to escape Area 81, which I didn't manage. So
Area fucking 81? Where have you been?
Sorry, 18.
No wonder you can't get out. Don't exist.
He's been aging,
one
though.
beer and I'm already talking rubbish. Sorry. 81.
Couldn't let that slide.
Area 18. I had to recopy my account, but yeah. We're back at Olisar and I will stay there. So yeah, that's basically what I'm been up to. I'm watching leaks before that, and a little bit of Division, and lots of television shows that I'm watching at the moment.
Like what?
Well, the name.
It's that good.
Well,
It's so good.
No, I always forget names. I'm bad at names.
Hence
I'm
Area
currently
81.
still busy with the Love, Death and Robots series. So that's pretty cool. Not all of them, but most of them. Lucky 13 was still the best. Still some Finnish television shows, the criminality stuff. And from Toby Tees, I got like Doom Patrol and Titans. So that's going to be next on the list.
He sits there and lists off all these things. He's basically gone through every Netflix show that there is.
Yeah.
And
What's Titans? What's that? Is that the one where they go to Jupiter's moon?
You should ask Toby.
Okay, let me know what that is.
Titans. I've watched Titans. No, they don't go to Jupiter's moon.
No, Titans is about Robin and Batman.
Who is that?
Oh, Titan, of course. Yeah, the Marvel or the DC thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I see. Thank you. The Titan is that one where they go to the moon. They have to create a more human.
Definitely a different thing.
Yeah.
Excellent. And Mac, what have you been up to?
Been since the unexpected release of 3.5 on what was it, Saturday night?
Was it unexpected?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was literally like, I sat down with Rach and we started watching Moneyball, the Brad Pitt film. And it got to about 9 o'clock, maybe 10 o'clock. And I was just thinking, I'd got some videos ready to go, and I thought, well, I don't think it's going to release until after the weekend. And then I started checking Discord. I had like 15 notifications on Discord of people saying, it's live. And so I just said, do you mind if I stream? And Rachel was like, no, it's fine. She knew, because I said as soon as it goes live, I'm gonna be on it, you know. But it was a mess. I think it was really. We'll talk about it later, I'm sure. But
Still is.
It still is a mess. But yeah, so we've just been I've been avoiding area 968 because I just don't want to go down there in case I can't get out again. So I've just been flying around atmosphere, testing out the ships, which are actually a lot of fun. But that's about it. Just trying to get as much footage out as possible, keep the streams going, and then keep getting more videos written.
Is that on planet Arcus Corpus?
Arcus Corpus?
Yeah.
What is this place you talk about?
So I mean, we was going from, well, there's a fair amount to talk about now because of that, because last week we were sitting there going, nothing to talk about, was all under NDA and all that sort of fun. There was a few streaky leaks or something like that that came out. Streaky leaks, like streaky bacon, but leak shaped. And so it's nice that we can finally talk about it. I didn't actually get to play too much while it was in Evocati, to be honest, but it's nice to see a lot of people streaming it now. It's also maybe nice to see lots of people suffering as on Wave 1 PTU. Thinking
That's
that it's all, well, you know, we get all these comments that it shouldn't go to Evocati and it's all, you know, it's not fair, they're having so much fun, and then you realise actually it's
not fun.
Barely. I mean, it's had a few patches where it's not so bad now. But when it first came out, it was like, yeah, it's barely playable. People get stuck and don't actually do anything, and it's like, you know, this is what Evocati are doing when you think that they're just nicking all the fun before you get hold of it. It's like, no, mostly they're just logging in and things are failing. So
it's rough, yeah, and it still is.
That's it. If you kind of consider how rough it is now in the Wave 1, it's obviously worse than that for you Evocati guys.
Yeah, I mean, we had there was someone on Facebook put something like, did Evocati even test it? And it's like, yes, they did, and this is the result. And this is something we can talk about a little bit in a bit, but it's also links to do with the fact that CIG, because they've put these like quarterly, we can talk about it now even, these quarterly releases out. And so therefore they're kind of under pressure to get the patches out when they say they're going to get them out. So I think what we're probably seeing, I think we did on the last patch a little bit as well, is that the patch is coming, because it didn't stay in Evocati for very long, and then it comes straight out to PTU Wave 1. And I think, you know, to me, that's a sign of what's happened because they've chosen to do these quarterly releases. And so I think we're getting these sort of releases a lot quicker, just because they can say that they've given it out. I'm glad you all agree on that one. So, yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to remember hello in
so
chat.
talkative. Oh, wow.
Well,
is that right?
Sorry, so I think like they've like you say, they've got this deadline to meet, and they tried to get the flight model out early, which I think was a good thing. They obviously had a lot to test, and I think most of the Evocati stuff is as well as bug finding was balancing all the ships, all the weapons. Well, it started with like one ship, but then they expanded it, didn't they? But it was just, it's such a big area to balance. When you think how many ships there are, and they need to manage every single maneuvering thruster, every main thruster, every component, every weapon, and make sure that everything is all working as it should be, and then get it as balanced across the board between all the ships. It's definitely not going to be, the flight model will not be anywhere near ready, even by live. It's still going to be messed around with. So it's, and now they've got the heat system in. What a nightmare.
I mean that's a nightmare. We'll talk about that in a bit. because that's a whole another thing. But so linked to the whole them pushing it out earlier. So obviously we constantly have this kind of debate about whether Evocati should even exist and whether they should be, like it's a game, we should be testing it, and that sort of, just shoot all the Evocati, how dare they? You shouldn't even exist, why are you even here? But no, it's like, people saying it's a game, it's an alpha, it's supposed to be testing, we're all supposed to be testing it, right? So the argument obviously is that when it's in Wave 1 P2, like I said, it's really buggy, but then, like, you do see a hell of a lot of moan and people saying, oh, this is crap, this is unplayable. But, like, that's the point, and this is why we don't get it straight to live. This is why they don't just push a patch to live and say, off you go and test it. So what are your thoughts? Do you think it's better for them to push it out to, say, Wave 1 and onwards so that we can all at least say we've got the new patch to play, whether it's buggy or not? Or do you think it's better to keep it back?
I see people, like the PTU. Firstly, the PTU is voluntary for those who understand the principle of what public test universe means. And people sign on to it because they want to experience the ships and the stuff. Fair enough, that's what I do. But they come in and they complain that this isn't working. The ship's overheat. It's broken. It's like, literally in the words of Chris Roberts, no shit. They know it's broken. The point is, they're testing it. They're getting it out, and that's what they're testing. I mean, don't get me wrong. You put it to live, it's still going to be buggy because it's an alpha.
It's still testing.
But it's still in testing phase, and it's still not being as optimized as it would do if it's live. But if you can't stand the bugs, if you can't stand that this doesn't feel right, that's overheating, that doesn't fly right, don't fucking go into the PTU because it's not for you. Yeah, do something else. Wait till it's live. And even then, they're going to still be iterating on it. I mean, I get comments on YouTube all the time of, like, Arc Corp is rubbish. It's a whole lot of nothing. It's empty. It's dead. It's like, yeah, because it's the fucking first iteration of it. What are you expecting? A full, living, breathing planet on the first time?
Lorville wasn't functioning correct. It wasn't complete either. Last patch.
No.
But basically, this is a very rough patch because of the major new flight model getting in, a heat system, a couple of other things. And what I think is happening what has happened is they basically say we're gonna include this into the patch, and what was it, like 6 weeks before what was it, the Evocati starts or whatever?
It was about a month before, wasn't it?
A month before, 6 weeks before, they will actually say, okay, it's going to be in or out the patch. And I think they were basically now past that moment, and they have to continue, and they can't get that flight model out because they would get so buried underneath a bunch of salt, for instance, and they have to continue. And yeah, like you said, I don't mind. Probably newer people to this StarCitizen game aren't used to this buggy alpha that we are playing and testing. The older backers will, but it is what it is. If you don't like it, just log off and come back later. And for the rest that keeps sticking to the game and testing it, submit the bugs and wait for every patch that they will drop.
It's
gonna get better.
Of course, yeah, and it is important to know that it's done this way for a reason. Because if you think most game developers have X amount of QA testers, and it's basically their in-house team, and then they'll put it out during beta or even alpha to the test, for the public to test. That's pretty much what StarCitizen is doing from the offset, where the backers are testing, and the more people that play it and report the bugs, the quicker it's going to get sorted, and the less bugs there will be in at the end run of it all. So if you are finding it annoying, either stop playing or just dedicate that time to reporting that bug, finding the bugs. If there's something that's really bugging you, get it on the issue council, or at least search and upvote it, because that's what it's there for. If it's really annoying you, get them told about it. It'll benefit everyone.
Yeah. Well, Heavy Bob says in chat, I think people should be entitled to complain about everything despite it being the first attempt. Sure. But there's a bit of a difference in how they put it into chat or on Reddit or whatever. because most people that are playing this game for the beginning know that it will get better.
I think part of the problem is that CIG have built this up for themselves. So because like we've talked about in the past, because they tried to release this perfect build on the live server, people are expecting it. Okay, it never runs really smoothly, but it's generally playable most of the time when it finally goes to live.
Yeah.
And so obviously what we're having is a big section of where people are not playing because there's lack of content or not enough for what they want to play. And then obviously don't forget, this is almost like patch 3.0 in terms of the big flight patch. Everybody knows that the new flight mechanic's coming in, so everybody wants to play it. So as soon as it hits PTU, everybody that can wants to go and play it. And so they're getting a lot of people that experience it that wouldn't necessarily experience it quite so buggy. And again, this is because I think CIG put out a certain standard, and then when you get something that's not that, it's like, well, this is shit. And they don't necessarily realize that that's just how the testing phases go. So I think there's like an element of that. It's difficult though, because at the same time, there are some people that are heavily vocal, but there's also probably a lot of people that are just testing it and genuinely getting on and trying it and potentially enjoying it, and don't say anything like that.
It's all about how you say it. Now, someone can tell me I'm a complete twat, and if they tell me nicely,
twat
like that, I'll accept it. It's this constructive criticism. It's when people go on and just say, this is shit, they've broken it, it's not working, they've ruined it. It's like, okay, don't just tell them the problem, tell them either, well, not the solution, because it's up to them to find it. Tell them in a way that it makes sense, that it's constructive, so that they know what the problem is. Don't just sort of complain and spew a lot of shit out to it. Just say, this is the problem because I feel this, and this, and then let them use that information. It's the way people say it, not what they're saying.
Yeah, I think just complaining and saying this is like Arc Corp lacks anything. Well, that's more ignorance, if you like, because you're why was you even expecting it to have a lot of stuff? Now, if you're complaining because it's buggy and you can't land and the frames are dropping, okay, that's a little bit more constructive. You're actually talking about what's wrong with it. But just saying, it's like there's no ships flying around or something like that, it's crap, it's empty, that's not really constructive feedback. That's just pointing out the freaking obvious, because they never promised that it was going to be fully implemented on first pass. Nothing they've released has been fully implemented on first pass. Port Olisar, I mean, people will expect it now with shops and things walking around. When we first had Port Olisar, there was nobody on it. And then they started putting NPCs, and look at when they first put NPCs on Port Olisar. They all stood in lines. They all just half naked around the steps, couldn't walk up things, and they were everywhere. So it's that side of things. It's like, it's no point necessarily whinging about that. This is, I mean, for better or for worse, this patch has turned into basically the flight patch. Like, I know we've got Arc Corp, but Arc Corp is just another landing zone. It's pretty and everything else, but realistically, this is a flight patch, and this is what we're here. This is what is going to be tested, and this is going to be the main focus for all of for their feedback and for everything. And go on.
Sorry. The flight model is one of those things that it should have been sorted pretty much as soon as, like, the first thing that they get sorted. With it being a space game, a flight game, that sort of thing, it should be something that was done from the very offset, and it should be robust now and been established for the last 5-6 years. Because it isn't, now it's so important and imperative that they get all of our feedback and really address what we want it to be and what they hope it to be. Because I think for the next half a year, maybe even longer, it's going to be a lot of balancing and tweaking and tuning until they get it right. I don't think it's going to be something that will be done for live. It won't be done for the next month, I would say, maybe 2 months. I think by the end of what we're on now, we're on fucking March, aren't we? I would say by the time Q2 patch comes around, it'll be a lot more robust, but maybe still tweaking it. I don't think it's going to be done that fast.
Well, they already said that it's a first iteration, and not everything is included in the flight mechanics either.
Yeah,
so it's like the flight mechanics aren't even all there for what we're testing anyway, which makes it hard. But just to go back a little bit on what we were talking about in terms of releasing it out to Wave 1 and such. I personally, I think, like, first of all, I was thinking, no, they should just keep it in Evocati until it's sorted, until, like, at least it's kind of playable. But then afterwards I thought, well, in reality, we kind of moan a lot of time that stuff gets held back and we all want information, we all want to see it. So Evocati, it's all under NDA, which is annoying. And like, realistically, this is a alpha and we're testing it. Now, to me personally, I feel like it should go do the waves like they're doing, that's fine. But I think maybe what they should do is push it to like PTU wave, open PTU, so anybody that wants to test it and test that bugginess can do, but we also have the stable-ish servers that people can play on if they don't want to do that. And I think that's probably like the best way of going around it. And then realistically, if you're moaning about the PTU, then yes, you can stop playing it and carry on with the build that we've currently got.
Yeah, or just play it to your patience will allow, because even I get fucked off with it and rage quit, you know?
It's the only downside to opening it up, and especially opening it up to, say, Wave 1 onwards, is the feedback. Because like the whole point of Evocati is that it's a more closed group, so the feedback is more tight and well answered. So it's like that's such a shit sentence. Sorry, it's basically more focused, is what I was looking for.
Yeah,
so it's like focused feedback,
for instance.
Yeah, and there's less duplicates and everything else. As soon as you open it up to a much bigger test area, then you've got people that are, like we just said, they're coming onto your videos going, "Where's this? Where's that? Why doesn't this look right?" And it's like that's not really that important for them to focus on at the moment.
Yeah,
they want to focus on something else. So that's the only kind of downside, I think, with opening it up early. So
yeah, I would be fine if it stayed longer in Evocati, and after that, when it's more finalized in what CIG thinks is more playable, release it to Wave 1 and then to the broader public. So basically the same as it is now, but keeping it longer at Evocati.
Yeah, I think what Miz said is this whole keep the flight model being updated on the P2U until they and do it in stages, so they get to a point where they think, right, this is now as like this section of what we're testing is balanced as it could be. Let's put that out to the live and then continue the testing on the P2U for this new area. Like have focal points, like when VTOLs come in, like when the heat system starts getting updated, rather than sending it all out to everyone and everyone just having a bit of a mess to play with. I think get it as stable as possible, so there's consistent gameplay there. And then, push out these PTU builds and keep people who want to do that to do it. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Beer.
So, so that's more around the focus of whether you think it should be released earlier and whether you should allow people more to test it. And it's interesting. People on YouTube, when this goes on there, leave comments below, tell us what you think, whether you think it should be behind testing more, whether they should just hit live, because I mean there was an issue as well, didn't they, said about it being live servers and test servers and splitting the resources so that they don't necessarily function so well because they've had to split server resources as well. So there's obviously a lot more to consider than what we've got. I do personally feel though that what's happening is they're pushing it out quicker just because of the quarterly releases. So whether you think that's right or wrong, I think that's what's happening.
True. Absolutely.
Agreed.
So obviously, the main, as we've just said, the main focus of the testing is the flight model. So why don't you guys tell us how you're finding it, what you like, what you don't like? And in chat, if you've got any questions for us, question, Q, anything like that, there's a little question form you can fill in, or you can ask the questions directly in chat, and if I manage to catch them, we'll try to answer them. It's just that sometimes chat's flowing a bit fast for us to see. But yeah, this podcast is very much about us interacting with you guys as well. So if you want to join in the discussion, give us some questions, and we'll do what we can to answer them.
Personally, I really enjoy it. I think all the ships feel more unique now. They do feel slower, and I'm still debating whether I like the slowness or not, because I feel like it can be a little less exciting. I think that needs to be tweaked, especially in atmosphere, the speed at which ships can fly. Obviously, the heat system I'm just ignoring for now because they put it in and things overheat just way too fast. That's obvious.
Yeah.
But the flight itself, I'm really enjoying the different techniques that work in some fighters compared to others, specifically talking about combat in space. Like, for example, the Gladius can roll really well, and I like strafing with that, whereas the Hornet's a lot beefier, and I need to figure a better way of using that. The Katu Owl I was playing with today on stream, and that feels... I can see how that is going, and it's looking really good. It's now able to strafe quick. Like, you can turn pretty much on a dime by strafing and track your target while it's flying past at like 300 meters a second. It just feels amazing. And it sounds incredible. I didn't realize it growled at you when you flew around.
Have you tried
That was really growling, yeah.
I have, yeah.
Yeah,
that's so much fun.
Have you tried a donut with that thing? The sound, it's amazing. Amazing.
It is.
Do an impression of the sound.
I just well, I can't. But try it and
go for it.
It was the best time I had on. That was last Sunday. It's amazing.
But
I agree. Every ship feels the ones that I tried feel different. I like the flight model in general. It feels. I don't know how to describe it. It feels a bit different, a bit more heavier. Tighter turns can be made. I actually can do better with decoupled than I could in 263. The only thing that's completely shit is aiming, and especially when in the universe it's not working as intended.
Yeah, the ESP and the pips still need a lot of work. Like, there's some weapons where the pips seem to line really well, but then others where they don't. And one of the biggest sort of, although it's not technically the flight model per se, but the enemy AI pilots in the PU are just they're rubber banding all over the place. And that I would like that to be fixed if possible before it goes live, because I want to do combat missions and practice and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And also one thing that they need to tone down a bit is I actually love the sounds, love it.
Yeah.
But sometimes there is this boom, like 30 missiles are hitting your
Dapok, that's you crashing into an asteroid, mate. That's always going to be that loud.
That's me letting go of the throttle or using the space brake or whatever, and it's like the whole hull breaks underneath your ass.
The ship snaps in half as you push space brake on.
Yeah.
There is a little like an inconsistency with audio volumes, I have to say. And like the other day, I was walking around on, I think it's Lyria, the new Arc Corp moon, and I'd just gone to the pit, that underground bunker, and I got sniped from somewhere. I don't think it was a player. I think it was either a bug or an AI that's supposed to be protecting me from the outside. But the volume of that weapon, I literally threw my mouse in the air. I'd never heard. It was so peaceful walking around. It's like, boom. I swear they do it on purpose, just to wind us up.
It's like to wake you up. It's like if you're trying to be a stealth sneak sort of ambush. It's just, boom, there he is.
I've seen you.
See the sound wave come blasting out from where you're hiding.
Yeah. I wish I did. It might have given me a fucking indication. But no, the sound, I think, at the moment, it feels exciting to try most ships. Not all of them, I don't think, are quite as accurate as they could be. I can't think specifically, but in fact, I was flying, I think, the Sabre in atmosphere. And when you're just flying at your SM, whatever it is, the top speed you can go at in atmosphere, if I then held afterburn and you get this rugged sound and the ship sort of shakes because it's obviously pushing it to its limits, you can see the ground just flying underneath and you're still holding a course through the canyons.
Yeah.
My heart was like, fucking mint.
Yeah, that's amazing experience.
Yeah, and so I do honestly think the sound, the feel, the ships feel like they are more robust. They feel more heavy.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of people that are saying they don't like it. I think definitely the majority are saying they do, but there's a few people that are saying they don't, and I don't know why that is. I personally haven't had a negative flight model experience.
I feel like there's definitely a kind of Marmite response to this at the moment. There's not too many just saying it's okay. It does seem to be, I hate it, and I want the old one back, and other people seem to be, yeah, it's all right, it's good. I just seem that I need to get used to it, sort of thing. I think people seem to like it.
Yeah, it's going in the right direction, sort of thing.
I'm as always in the middle, because I think it's nothing to do with the flight model, but just the fact that I'm shit at flying. So I tried to. I mean, it doesn't help. I tried to Reliant, which we all know is never that great at flying, and it's just it drifts like. Fuck. So I've been taking it on the racetrack, which I think, does that use atmospheric mechanics, or does it use like space mechanics in there?
What's this? Sorry,
in Reader Commander, the racing track.
It should be atmospheric, but it's
not atmospheric. Yeah,
it's not. That's what I wasn't sure what it was actually using. But anyway, either way, I tried to go for. I can get from the first hoop. Which is dead straight, and as soon as I turn, the ship just doesn't stop going. Like the Reliant just doesn't stop going left at all, and I literally faced the other way. Yeah, of course I used a Reliant
because you can
to go through the checkpoints.
And it's
my time on the first. I practiced when I first got hold of the flight model. I was thinking, right, if I want to practice how to maneuver. In space, because I knew the racing thing isn't in atmosphere. Don't bring a Reliant and bring a Gladius. But I got a time of I think 1:09 in the first. That's with me practicing quite a bit and still not over kicking it. But what I really like is the fact that it tells you your vector. It has this little indication that tells you your vector. And what I do when I go through whenever you go through the checkpoints. You then line your nose up with the new checkpoint and sort of navigate around the course. But I boost to then bring my vector back in line, and you can see it moving quicker as you're boosting because your direction is being forced. And that to me is actually I can see where the skill is in controlling your ship in space, and that I think is what is good. And I don't think it should be a game that is pick up and play. I think there needs to be a learning curve to it, not because. I think there just needs to be. I just think because that will be what the game is good. But I think there needs to be a way of helping new backers or new players come in and understand the game with no knowledge at all, but not be super good at it. I think they should have a decent they should be able to pick it up and sort of get on with it. But if they wanted to get good at something, you have to focus.
It needs to be skill based.
Yeah, everything 100% needs to be skill-based. Yeah. And a lot of people aren't liking the flight model. And I think, no offense to them, I think it's because, like what Miserable says, we're just not good enough yet. We need to learn more.
I mean, it's gone from overall, I feel so someone asked in chat, so we can answer that at the same time, is like, will they revert back to the old system? And I think the answer is most likely no. I think this is what they're intending to happen. And I think the whole drag and drifting and stuff like that is what they want to happen. I feel like I could be wrong. I feel like it's a little bit too much, but that's what this is the first iteration, so there's a lot of tweaking and stuff. I feel like the drag and the slide is a little bit too much at the moment. Part of the reason I took the Reliant is because I thought those big engines were supposed to rotate like the engines and the thrusters on the Cartual. I thought because it was like alien technology, so I thought that's what they were meant to do, but they don't. They just stick going forward. So it's not improved at all. If anything, it feels like it's worse than when I first played the Reliant in the last patch. And I think so that's part of the problem. But I think we have got more tweaking and stuff to go, so it's going to be interesting how it develops. I saw Mac playing with the Scout, and it definitely maneuvered a lot better, which is again what it was supposed to do. It's got the thrusters all maneuver a lot more and everything else. So it's it definitely it's going to give. And I think Madness was in your chat and he was saying about that other alien ship that was coming. That was supposed to be Big Brother or something. It's going to be interesting because they're going to have a different type of Yeah, that's the one. Santa Coy. I couldn't say it. I was letting you do it. It's going to be, if you want that type of movement, they're the ships that you're going to have to go to get that sort of movement. Because, like, and I saw Madness and people were moaning that the Scout had too low firepower, but that's the whole point. That thing can now outmaneuver most of the other stuff, so it might have less firepower, but that will be its advantage. And so there's just going to be a lot of that sort of thing. It's good that the ships feel different. It's good that you can jump in from one ship to another and you know that you're in a different ship. It's just, I think, it's going to take a lot of getting used to, definitely, for that respect.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, and I also feel that whereas people, like, the trouble is people have bought ships based on maybe the old flight model and how they were performing in the Gladius or the Hornet or whatnot. And I think with this new flight model, that style of dogfighting that they learnt and created for themselves might not suit the ship they now own. I think people will probably start finding that certain ships are not handling the way that they wanted them to, or the way that they're intended to. But they're going to be more like what they're intended to. Like, they are seeming to become more like their initial ideas. Like, light fighters are quick and maneuverable, heavy fighters hit harder, but they're slower and they're a bit more sluggish. I think it's going more like that, but people may find that the ship that they want to like isn't the ship that they're going to be any good with.
That's exactly what they're relying. That's exactly. I was like, I want to like it because I love the design, I love the cockpit, and I love the way it. Even though it's got no purpose, the way it changes, it's like but it's not fucking working. I think I'm not giving up yet because they may change things. It may be something that's different. You never know, but the chances are it's probably just not going to be the ship for me. So yeah, the only thing going kind of back to the testing side of things is I feel like, and this is another post, I think, I don't know if someone put it on the Evocati, so I won't show the thread. But Fred. Won't show Fred.
I won't
Fred
show
as
Fred.
well. Yeah, anyway, I can't talk
Fred?
tonight. It's just the way it is. But someone was saying that they're chucking too much at us all at once that we can't test things properly. So, like, I mean, obviously the overheating is partly bugged, partly intended so that they can tweak things, but it's like the fact that every time you just push forward, it's like overheating. It's annoying, it's not working, and it's just like that noise and that alarm constantly. And I feel like, like you said about it's skill-based, which is fine, and I do think learning and getting better is definitely valid. But what I do also feel like is if you're getting a basic ship and you buy it and you take it off and fly it, it should work without overheating and everything else. You should be able to fly it normally within restrictions, and it shouldn't overheat, its components shouldn't disable. That sort of thing should be left for if you want to tinker with it and make it better. So if you think of like race cars or like a normal car, if you go in a normal car, you can drive it around, there's no problem. You don't take it out the showroom and there's problems with it, you drive it around. But if you then start racing these normal cars, people start tweaking up the engine, they start changing parts on it. And I think that's what it should be left for. If you want to, so if you imagine like racing in game, if you all went and just bought a ship straight away and went around and started flying with it, you'd all get, if you all got good and learned how to fly, you'd get a good skill or a good score. And then if people then learnt to tweak their ship, they could push that extra second, that extra 2 seconds on the racetrack. And that's what I feel like the tweaking should be. It should be for that rather than it feels like you're getting... I don't want to get in my ship as a newbie and have to turn around. Like when you was looking at the Scout, it had like 20 thrusters that you had to go and manipulate to turn down the power to them. And it's like, that's just... you just
well,
look
besides
at,
that,
there was more than
CryEngine
4.
needs...
There was all the other maneuver thrusters you could do as well.
Yeah.
There was loads. There was loads.
They need to somehow put up a small tutorial with such a big patch. Like, these are really big changes.
Like the old ones.
They
put the old tutorials up right before the patch comes out, and it's like, yeah, great.
Just tutorials on paper or whatever. But I had a major difficult time to actually find my old throttle, which isn't there anymore for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But I was looking and searching, and I couldn't find it. And eventually, I think it was with Ash, who is in chat right now, that we figured it out, and together with a couple of other guys. But if I'm jumping from one system to another, I'm not expecting that my quantum drive is failing. And it's
you won't have a clue what's going on, will you?
And if I'm a new player, I'm like, what the fuck? And then I'm sitting here in dark space, can't do anything anymore. And my quantum drive shouldn't fail when it's running at 100%. It's doing what it has to be doing. Just get me from one system to another. If I'm getting to overclock that stuff, then yeah, okay, let me run out of power. Let it fail. Let it do whatever, but not when it's all standard and default.
Yeah.
What Miz said about taking adding too much in one go, I think, and it sort of relates to what you're saying there as well, is that I think it was unintentional. I don't think they realized it would affect it like it has done. But I think you can't focus on tuning a flight model when everyone is faffing around with heat and problems with heat and not being able.
Because you're changing your thrusters, aren't you? So you don't know whether it's flying like it's supposed to.
Exactly.
And I know you have to go in at a starting point and then tweak it, but I think it would have been a lot easier if they just didn't bother with the heat for now, brought that in like an interim patch, focus on the flight model, got that so that we have most things fine-tuned and whatnot, and then brought in the heat when it's more appropriate. But obviously that's something that I suppose can't really be foreseen because we don't know how the heat's going to affect the ships straight away until they tweak it. And it's been the weekend, so now we're back on. I know there's not a patch tonight, but now we're back on. There's hopefully going to be more. But this whole tutorial thing. I am working myself on a whole series of basic tutorials, which is starting off with like your basics of getting in game, similar to what CIG pushed out, but up to date. Thanks for those.
For the right patch.
But then obviously taking it a bit further, because this game is, even just the flight alone, even just the ship component gameplay alone, like you say, you're jumping from one place to the next. You're gonna have no idea. Oh, it's overheating. What's overheating? What's a roughneck? What the fuck is what are all these names?
Please don't give me the brand names.
Yeah, tell me what it is.
Model types. Just give me what it is.
I'm there googling. Right, okay, roughneck. What is it? Okay, bracer. What the fuck's a bracer? Right. Okay. Now I want to overclock my cooler. Oh wait, I can't. They give us the heat system, and you can't overclock your coolers. I think they're doing that to make sure that you can't. I don't know why they're doing that, but yeah, it's.
I was at Port Olisar yesterday, and I was fiddling around with my thrusters, and I switched them a little bit to the lower side, and all of a sudden, my ship starts to rotate. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm like, is my joystick broken? My shiny Virpil? But no, it was just a throttle.
He starts taking his fucking Virpil apart, thinking, why is this not working? It's like, oh no, you just got to change this dial here, mate.
Well, just this evening, I just hold my Virpil in my hand again, just the stick, so plop. Like, what the fuck?
Oh dear God. No,
but they need to be more clear on that. Give us some sort of tutorial for, especially the new players. They don't have a clue.
They rely on us streamers to figure it out.
To get it all wrong.
I mean, that's fucking like clutching at straws.
Yeah. Well, you can't even turn your stream on mostly, so it's getting. I'm looking forward to the tutorial videos. It's like today, everyone's going, drag the slider, Mac. Drag the slider. He goes, it's not working. It's not working. He goes, yeah, those two little arrows that were pointing and sliding, that's working. And he's like, no,
to be fair, that was. I could see what was going on there, but it wasn't working as it was supposed to be, as it was intended. I swear.
Maybe
it was Shire bullshit.
But then again, like the notice for it is two very tiny little arrows that you can barely see. It's like you're sliding them back and forwards, and you're like,
exactly.
Have you noticed that the HUD in general is much smaller for some ships?
It's like you're like that, aren't you?
I just can't see it.
Yeah. Some ships, like the ones that I feel like like most times, they focus on things like the Gladius. Well, yeah, but not on the fly.
No, on the fly.
Ships like the Gladius.
I do. That's why I hit asteroids.
I'm just having a look at this a bit closer. I always remember that time when I was mining, and it's like let's take prospectors down to yellow.
Let's not mention this.
What the fuck was that? That was Miz.
You were standing. You
miserable
were
coming
literally
in.
standing there with your ship parked, talking to Twitch with the background scene, and you just saw this shit come flying down like a comet, and then it just blew up in the background. It was like, "What the fuck was that?"
Down.
Yep, that's me. Apparently, you have to brake
job.
before you hit the floor in this game. Who knew?
Actually, it's changed a bit now, hasn't it? Because as you can go full throttle, like cruise speed into atmosphere, and it slows your ship down, which is right. It's right because your ship would slow down, but I think over time it's going to be a case that if you try and keep going at that speed, bits of your ship will fly off.
Just like a Harley.
Just like what?
A Harley Davidson.
Bits fly off your Harley.
Bolts and
Not built for
pieces of
speed.
metal.
I didn't know that.
Nails. Lots of oil.
Your passenger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just elbow.
You can read this. Miserable fell off.
But yeah, sorry. The hood is on some ships they're really tiny. On what ship was it? The Catual. It was orange. So when I'm flying in Daima, I can't see shit because it just camouflages with the planet or the moon.
Oh, but that's default with almost every ship.
Yeah, no, that's true. We need those. We need those sliders for like brightness, contrast, and stuff. There's, there's in all we complain about a lot of stuff, but in all fairness, the roadmap for this year and 3.5 at the moment, I feel is really focused on getting what we currently have more balanced, more robust, more as a finished, polished game, rather than just adding loads of crazy stuff in and then it being a buggy. So I'm actually confident that this patch, once we've got more things dialed in, it's going to be a lot more solid as a game. I know it's alpha, but it's going to feel more like a finished game minus loads of features.
Yeah, but then there's the next patch.
That's
the
going to
next
fuck it all
build,
again.
3.6 or 3.7 or whatever is going to be in the future that can fuck things up that are working correctly now. So
that's true, but they
will never
are.
know.
The good thing is they're fine tuning what we currently have.
Chuck
and that's
everything
what
at it chuck everything at it because every new thing you add fucks everything else up. So if you give us everything all at once, it'll all be one big
story.
buggy mess. But at least you can slowly work through that.
We'll figure it out as we go along. So if nope.
They're not doing that, but they're close. It's just like in IT, you're not. If you have a problem, don't try it all at once and forget what you did, because you will end up with just a reinstall or whatever, and that's not going to work out.
I suppose it's easy for us to say don't add the heat, don't add this, but I also don't know how easy it is for them to like turn it off while you test other things as well, and whether they thought it would be a good idea to link the two together at the same time, and it's difficult to know. But I do feel like there's a lot of things. I mean, this is kind of stuff we've discussed before, but there's a lot of things where it's been added, which it obviously will need to go in end game. But I feel like it's been added at the wrong time, which is like because it's too much. It's almost like they've added the game loops in the game, but without the game loop. So it's like the whole travel time taking forever. Again, the calling back your ship, the insurance, the cost of buying the new ship, the price of ships. Like, we can't do proper game loops. And so all you're doing is you're just making it very, very difficult for us to play, because it's like painful and we can't call a ship, and then it bugs out and then that counts as crashed. And then you've got to wait ages for the ship to come back again. So if you only own one ship, you're fucked, basically, unless you can make loads of money. Or it's like, that's to me, the annoying bit. It's almost like those sort of stuff we could keep, and it works, and it's fine. We know it needs to go in the game, but does it need to be in the game at this precise moment in time? It
would be good to balance it to what we have now. I mean, I know the idea is like sometimes you think, okay, well, let's start at the point at which we think an official price for this ship would be in game. It's like, okay, good, because then we can sort of balance it out. But I don't know. There's, like you say, there's those loops there are not there for people to have a joyful experience. But then, I guess it's alpha. Do they do that for the sake of it being alpha, or do they make it more of a playable game for people to enjoy now? I think the latter.
You kind of need it to be. I mean, they want people to play it, otherwise they wouldn't be trying to push it like it's a playable game. They wouldn't be doing these perfect patches to live if they didn't want it to be a playable game. But pushing it Oh shit! I was talking about that until it come up. But it's like not having it function. It needs to be playable because you can't get people to test it. It needs to be both. Like it needs to be playable to attract people to test it. Because there's only a certain amount of people that are happy to be like the Evo Carty crazy fuckers that will log in 20 times a day, even though it crashes every 2 seconds and crashes back to desktop. You know, they're not going to get a lot of people like that. So you need to attract people that want it as a game loop. Obviously, the way they're pushing it is it's almost too much down the game loop, and people are going, "Oh, I want to be able to do everything, and I want to be able to earn my ships," and it's not in the game yet. So, but if earning that much money isn't in the game yet, then don't put a ship that costs that much money in the game.
It's kind of like a contradiction in itself, isn't it? Like they're trying to do all at once and trying to balance the end game, but also but not have the economy or whatever. Like they want to try and get an end game pricing, but with a very first, even early stages of the economy.
What is the point getting an economy pricing right now? Because we haven't got all the resources in the game. You haven't got anything producing materials. No one's
and the idea is
factories. So what's the point?
Like the ships should maybe a Hammerhead should be 21 million because it's a multi-crew game ship that requires a team to earn. But if you can't do group missions, you're never going to earn it as a group.
Yeah, so don't just sell a different ship for now. Sell the smaller ships. Don't sell the big ship. It's almost like they put it there on purpose just to say there's a ship, you can earn it in game, but you're not going to. Ship purchases in game, but it's not really. I don't know, but it seems a little
everyone
bit
wants
odd.
Ship purchasing, and they're like, okay, there you go.
You've got it
okay, now we want ship
up.
renting.
I saw something weird in AC, by the way. I own the Super Hornet. Not the one with the lady on the side, which I'm still salty.
You sound like a Catuel.
But my Super Hornet was not available in AC. I could, however, rent it.
Eh?
Really?
Yeah. And it was like 44,000 rec.
Did you try going back again though?
3.4?
No, I did have that as well. At one point, it only showed 5 ships that I could get. Then I think I went in a different menu and then come back, and then for some reason it listed
there's
them all
a
again.
whole bunch of ships
it said them
I
as
could choose
rented.
from, but
But
underneath the list, at the bottom, there's just a couple of ships with red letters. It says, rentable for like 44,000.
Yeah.
Weird.
I don't know. It shouldn't be, but who knows? I think I could. I know I could take the Heartseeker one. Maybe it's just forcing you to take the Heartseeker one out.
No fucking way. I'm not gonna.
Can't you swap out all the components?
I took a nice screenshot of me next to that, so you can see it.
No, my limited Super Hornet is not gonna be changed for that twat of another Super Hornet with a slut on the side. Sorry.
Ooh, she's a slut now.
Now, don't talk about Tina like that.
Oh, ho, ho, she's nothing like my Tina.
Is that the name of your Super Hornet?
No, that's the name of my virtual girlfriend in my channel. Which serves beers and other drinks and meals in our space tavern.
I was going to say, don't be giving away any ship names because people are going to snap them up.
I won't.
Everybody registers Tina. Tina Mark II.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so I think we're all kind of in agreement. It would be nice to have, I don't know, we kind of went sidetracked a bit there, but yeah, it would be nice to have just the flight mechanic tested without all the extra bells and whistles, and then adding all this other stuff that's not really making the game. When you don't have the full gameplay loop in, don't put the. It's almost like they've just gone, right, what's all the annoying fucking things? Let's stick them in the game first, like travel time and fucking getting on a bus for half an hour and
that's it. Like
claiming your ship and ship insurance. Yeah, why not?
As sort of older the backers now, that they understand why it's that long, because at the end game it's going to be that long. Someone comes in for the first time and they're like, I hear I've got to pay 500 quid to play this game. No, well, okay, so why do I have to spend 12 minutes sat in a seat going from what it's like? It makes no sense to people. And I know most of this game development thing with StarCitizen is all about trying to find that sweet balance, which so far they've not found in any area. So I don't expect them to find it. I know that when it comes to doing these tutorials and so forth, it's going to be, yes, I know it's a long way and I know it takes ages, but eventually there will be something to do in game. It's like if they brought in the ability, like let's say, for example, this heat system, I can start to see now how interacting with your components and changing the power you give to your components, the heat and stuff, even in a single seat ship while you're traveling around, it's going to be quite engaging and quite fun.
Can save you in certain situations, perhaps as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Some extra added gameplay, yeah.
And it makes sense, but like at the moment, there's nothing to do in multi-crew ships, let alone single seat ships. But then I actually quite like the fact that we have to travel that long. I can go and put my clothes in the wardrobe when they've been washed. I can go and get a cup of tea or a sandwich. I mean, at the moment, I'm coming back and my engine's overheated, so I have to wait and start again. But there's so, like what Miz is saying, there's so much that's in right now that is not really making sense to the game as it currently stands, but is more for end game. But yet the mechanics aren't there to aid in that. So dialing it back might be a good idea. Like maybe, I don't know. I suppose it's all about balancing.
Well, yeah, it makes sense. Well, if, for instance, if you would have left heating system out this patch, or not in the whole of 3.5, but just this current build that we're playing with, and focus on the flight model, when that's pretty much working as intended.
Yeah.
Then get back to the heating system, add it again, focus on that, and continue until 3.6 arrives.
I mean, it might just be a case that they've put the heating system in over the weekend, and it was just pure, like, way too over the top. Maybe now that they've had our feedback and they can see what's happening, I expect when they dial it back, it'll either be not enough or a little too much, and it'll just need fine tweaking. Usually they put it in, they go, right, we're going to like pin the tail on the donkey. We're going to put the heat system to affect ships like that and see what the reaction is. And most people are like, whoa. And I think it's like everyone is like, this is ridiculous. So when they dial it back again, it may not be 100% accurate, but it is going to be a massive improvement on what we have. So, yeah, they could have taken it out, which I think is a good idea. Focus on the flight model, then put it in later. But ultimately, I don't think it's too much of a problem right now, because as soon as they tweak it for the first time, it will go to a point where it's reasonable. Because we've had that first test and it's been a mess. They'll put it in somewhere else, like they'll move it up or down or whatever, and it'll be more of a reasonable point. And that should come, I hope, with the next patch we get, which is likely to be tomorrow. Because that does need to be addressed straight as quick as possible, I think.
Yeah, let's hope so. But
well, yeah.
I think we're going to see a lot of patches before that happens.
It's one of these problems where balancing is not easy, like especially when you consider balancing each ship to make them fit, not only as the ship that they're intended to be, but across the board of 126 ships, or however many that are flyable. That's like, unfortunately, they've started balancing them properly now, rather than from the offset, because they're going to have to go through every single ship and get that. Like, and what I mean by like balancing, I'm talking like down to there's a StarCitizen database that shows you all the areas that can be tweaked, like the roll speed degrees per second, pitch, the everything, the amount of G's that you pull, all these sort of things. There's so many aspects to each ship that need to be tweaked. Luckily, now they can do it while in the build, can't they? They can actually bring up this UI and tweak, like just literally just slide thruster down, everything on the fly without having to sort of like do it,
put
save it, load up, try it, log out, So we should see a lot of balancing happening a lot and quickly, but it's still going to be a long job to get this many ships balanced, just in line with each other.
Therefore, I think it's best for them to start with all the faster ships used for combat, used for racing. that kind of stuff, because that's where you really test it to the max.
Yeah, it's the top end.
The top end.
And then
all
drop
the other,
it,
the bigger ships, everybody can fly straight ahead, use a little bit of strafe, up, down, left, right. That's not going to be a problem. Everybody can land their ship. They will go from A to B. That's not a problem. But but it's more like the tweaking of like the PvPers. They're going to do crazy shit, and is it reacting like they want it to react? And that's going to be difficult. Exactly.
Yeah.
And you're not thinking about the rest, what the ship is capable of eventually. I can fly decoupled. Oh shit, how does that work? And boom, they blow up.
Yeah.
So they're never going to use it. But other people who are more into the whole combat flying or racing, they actually test it to the max.
We also need more feedback as to what's going on around you. Like, knowing that you're, like, where I don't really know what needs to be implemented, but at the moment, I still don't really know what's going on where, and I don't know what my ship is doing. All I get is this little announcement saying your ship is overheating, and then you don't know if you're
little
drifting.
announcement.
Something that I really, really want to see, especially with racing ships, is the vector marker being highlighted, so that when you are looking to try and change your vector, that you can see clearly which direction you are then going to go in. Because when I do the racing, if I'm taking the first corner of the smallest race in Murray Cup thing, you go through the checkpoint, the first checkpoint, and then I literally turn and face sort of the direction of where if the checkpoint's over there, I'm facing this direction, but I'm boosting because my vector is over this way. And as you sort of align, your vector slowly starts crossing back over. And as soon as it gets in line with the checkpoint, I then boost and just sort of go through, So it's like, I need to know where that vector is, and it's hard to see.
I want to see you do it as a Reliant.
Why would you try it in a Reliant?
Just do it. I want to see you do it.
The Reliant Cup. This is going to be there, representing.
We did do it once before. We got people to fly the Reliant, and then they cursed us afterwards for doing it.
Fly the Reliant. No, why did you fly the Reliant?
I'm a perfect example.
What are you going to do?
Exactly.
He's off again. Bloody hell.
Yeah, when his beer drops.
Again.
It's between his beer and his pee stops. It's like an old lady. Right, so we have a couple of questions, so we'll go through those and then we'll move on to the next subject. I think we've covered the flight mechanic pretty well.
Yeah.
So the first question is from the Vanduul, and it says to me, "Who gave you permission to paint our ship? You are marked for death." Well,
okay.
How about you send me more ships to paint, and then they can all look so good? No? Okay. Death it is then. Then I can paint the next ship in blood. The next question is from Chris Roberts. Which ship would you like to paint next? That's a good question. That is a good question. The Vanduul one was a difficult one because I had quite a few different reference images for it. And each one was different. So some it looked metallic, some it didn't look metallic, some like heavily almost like just dirt state over it. And then somewhere it was just like a weird browny grey colour. But it actually turned out quite a good paint job. I enjoyed painting that one. I don't know. I think probably, obviously doing them to fit in displays, they need to be like capital ships normally. So we're thinking probably like another I think like maybe there was someone sent like a picture of the Vanduul bomber, is it, or something? That would be kind of a cool one to paint, I think. It's got quite a few spiky bits, but that looks like quite a cool model. So yeah, maybe another Vanduul ship to try a different design one. I've got we've got a bit of a design idea now on that. So yeah, that one.
Any chance of them providing you with models like real models of the alien races, the species, or the soldiers?
I personally would love it. The chances
That
of
would be an
CIG
NDA.
letting us doing it, we don't know. Probably not.
No,
but
exactly. But yeah,
I definitely would love to. JRDF did try doing a prototype of a heavy armored soldier, and painting it all gold, and I was like, hey, I want to paint that properly though.
calling in Oscar.
Yeah, basically. But that looked really cool. And the thing is, with the 3D printing, what it allows them to do is because, like, obviously, if you get like the injection molded models like you normally see, you can get them quite high detail. But the problem is there's like layering system. So sometimes you'll have like a shoulder pad that lays over and sticks up. On an injection mold, you wouldn't be able to do that because it would just mold into one. Whereas on the 3D printer, you can actually print the different layers, and get the detail from underneath. So, hopefully they'll let them print some stuff because they realise it's better quality than some of the cheap stuff that can be knocked out, like this really fantastic model here. I'd rather
That's where it all begun, though, wasn't it?
This is where it all begun, so I can't slag him off too much. And this is Dez's. He's been waiting for this for a year. I've just I've been held at ransom. I really need to send it.
He will send it to you eventually.
I'm going to start it again, to be honest, because now I've got some more experience. I'm thinking, it could do better. So how about you, Bot? Because you started painting a model. What would be the actual ideal model that you would want to paint?
Oh, I still need to learn to paint, but especially with the airbrush. But
so do I.
currently,
Have you just received the airbrush?
You did a great job. Yeah, I got the airbrush for a couple of weeks now, but I didn't. I did one painting stream in between, but I can't airbrush while streaming here because it will make a huge mess. But I can't use the airbrush on the current model because that's all in base code, and I actually don't dare to use it on there. I first want to get that swing, of how to handle it and getting a base code on it, and then do more precise stuff.
We all want to learn how to swing.
Yeah. No, but you saw in the video that we started with that Miserable was actually doing the engine thrusters on the back, which are pretty small. Yeah, you have to know how to handle that airbrush, otherwise your whole model will be fully covered with paint.
You can't really hand paint a model that size with a paintbrush, can you?
Well, you can.
Not one that
small,
big.
But
you can do the small parts, but the big part you get all brush strokes. That's why the airbrush is useful. But yeah, doing those engines was a bit of a butt clenching moment because it's like I'd pretty much done most of the model because that's how you have to do it. You have to paint it, and then it's like I've never done this before. This will be fun. Couple of test sprays on a piece of card is like, let's just go for it. This could be me repainting the whole bottle in a minute, but no, I think it worked out all right.
My stress level is way lower than that of Miss because I got my model from Thingiverse, and he's got this original model which he can't fuck up.
Oh, I can't fuck it up. And it's not like metal models either, because like metal models, I dip them and I put them in like nitromors, which peels all the paint off and you can start again. You can't do that with these. It's like, no, you're stuck with it.
So, yeah. Big respect for Miserable.
Thank you.
Did an awesome job.
So the next question
it makes it look easy, that's the trouble.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I will hopefully do some painting streams so you can watch me do some, but the problem is everything's under NDA when I get it. It's like, come on, give me something that's not NDA. So Madness asks, can I paint this Crocs for him? Of course I will. Somehow I don't think that was from Madness. Carlos R72 asks, is it really that the flight model does not work for you, or is it the lack of experience with the new model? Anybody who has not been an avocado should not be done with testing and training with the new model. We've kind of answered this, but yeah, I think a big part of it will be down to experience and practice.
Do you know, when you think about it, although the avocados have had it for a little longer, the flight model's gone out, it's been out for like a day, practically 24 hours, 27 hours, something like that. It's so new, and to judge how the whole flight is going to be based off of the first 20 odd hours is probably a bit silly. And I'm thinking like I'm like, I love it. I think it's going to be great. I don't know if it is. I'm just basing it off of what I've tried so far, and that's what everyone else is doing. But I think we need to give it time. We need to give it time for them to balance, fine-tune, and tweak things. And I think don't just worry about it. Don't worry about it just yet. Give it time, and we'll see how it goes and how it transitions. If there's something that you don't like, get on the issue council, report it, see if someone else has reported it, get your voice no. And that's what Zylo was saying in chat. He said, so much feedback from the community. It's great. They're not like, we don't want feedback. They want feedback, but make sure that you are reporting it in a way that isn't, you fucked up the flight model. Be constructive with it.
I think this is actually the flight model is probably one of the most important things that they're going to want the feedback from, because it's no good. I mean, I know Madness would probably say the opposite, and obviously you want dogfighters to give you feedback, which you do, because like you said, that's where you put the stress of the ship. But you also want everybody's experience from it, from the miner to the cargo runner. You know, you do need to know how everyone feels with it and playing with it. And I know when I started playing and I was changing it, so like, because now the way the cruise control and you can change with the mouse wheel, like the acceleration, like you can fly at such a low speed and set the limiter so you can't accidentally go too fast. It's like precise. Really maneuvering at a slow speed just to go around something or around a station. It's really nice. You can do some really nice sort of very slow flying, and I really like that. So there are definitely things that are quite good.
Yeah, definitely. So when I flown it for the first time, that was, when it came out. It was Saturday night. Immediately gave me a better feeling. Felt more heavier, more robust. But like I said, the aiming is shit. But that's basically the thing they have to get resolved soon. That's only the only thing I worry about. The rest, the maneuvering part is really good. Did some AC stuff, and
I'm not worried about any of it, because I know eventually it'll get to the point where they want it to be. And I know they're building Chris's game, but in all fairness, he is obviously listening to us. They're building our game, damn it. But it's obviously going to take a long time, and I know that, and it's just about being patient. Again, everyone has different peripherals, and my initial thought when I first jumped in, and I was like really excited, plugged my HOTAS in, I was there like that. Why is the throttle not working? So I'm fucking I'm like trying to mess around with it, and I just ended up just chucking the throttle away, thinking it didn't work. I'm going to try something else. I'm going to look into dual flight sticks. I'm going to look into a central notched throttle. I'll look into different ways of controlling it. But ultimately, we've had it for such a snippet of time in terms of when you think about how big the flight model is in terms of affecting every aspect of the game. And so just be patient. Just don't panic, Mr. Mannering. Wait for it to... wait for things to get tweaked, and you'll slowly start seeing things align into hopefully the direction that we want. But not everyone will like it. It's human nature. Not everyone is going to be, this is ideal. It's going to suit a certain, hopefully the majority of people, and I mean like the big majority, but there are going to be people that people won't like. But then I guess being a pilot in this game isn't for you. You
can't please anyone. Not everybody.
Anyone?
No. Everybody. Sorry.
I can't please anyone.
There will be some things in game that I won't like, just like anybody else. But yeah, you have to overcome that. Ignore that shit and try to adapt. Because I'm certainly not going to push this game aside when it's finished. Because there's one thing in game that I don't like. And yeah, if it's the flight model, I do agree that that's the worst thing that you can overcome. But it's the way that it is.
Yeah.
But I'm really curious what we're going to say next week on the podcast. When we have
after trying
a
it for
week
a while.
experience, and we have had a couple of patches in between.
Yeah, we need those patches.
By
that time, it might be...
We'll get Madness with his first test of it, and it'll be the Salt Heavens then.
We don't have to talk then.
Has he actually not touched the flight model at all?
No, he's in Vietnam.
Oh. I am actually really intrigued by what he has to say about it. I really want to know what he feels. And I honestly just want him to like it. I really do.
I want him to like it because then we all know it's okay.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I like yourself.
Joking, but I kind of feel like that. I'm the same. It's like, if he turns around and says, yeah, this is actually pretty good, it takes some learning, but it's pretty good overall, then it's like, to me, it's like,
be relieved.
It's probably all right.
Because I'm not, like yourself, Mid. We're not good dogfighters. I'm average. I'm probably below average. I can get to round 15 in Arena Commander, and then die because I've got no crewmen left because they've all fucking died, useless bastards. But I think that stands for something, not a lot, because we're against AI. And every time I've gone up against players, I've taken a couple of people out in Arena Commander, been taken out a couple of times. But ultimately, I am not good enough to really give a full rundown of what I think. If I think the flight mechanics comprehensive enough or not,
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that. So I need someone like Madness to go, yeah, and then I go, what he said.
What he said, so I just need to get good.
Oh, can anybody... That's just came up in my mind. I was flying towards Area 18 yesterday in my, Arrow. When I got lower and lower, my ship all of a sudden went like this. Is that as intended or a bug?
Probably a bug.
Well, wasn't it? You were saying the same thing happened to you, though,
shaking.
Mac. You said it kept pulling your nose down when you was in atmosphere.
Which one was that? I know the Razor was a complete weird ship, but that's a drag racer, isn't it? We established the Razor was a dragster, and the M50 was a racer, because the M50, the Razor, literally, it was like any sort of maneuver you'd do to try and turn, you couldn't do anything unless you slammed on the brakes, but it would go from like top speed to 0 in a matter of seconds. I'm talking like 3 seconds, like not even 3, maybe 1.5. It was like zoom, and you go, way. Whereas
that was something different then.
Yeah, and
I was really scared that my ship my ship would break apart with all those noises. It was like
eventually it probably shouldn't it?
Was it a Drake ship?
No, it was my Arrow. Lovely ship.
So we have another question from Mr. Dismarius, and he says, what's the deal with these turtles I'm seeing in all the PTU screenshots?
Eh?
The turtles.
Is it to do with the Terrapin?
No, the people are walking around with these little turtles. I don't know.
I lost my teddy bear today.
Shall we move on quick?
Awkward.
Say something miserable.
So none of you know what these why people keep taking pictures of turtles?
What turtles? Have you got an example?
I saw some pictures of turtles.
Tweet somewhere. In Arc Corp, they sell tortoise in the food stalls. Really?
What?
It's Chinatown.
I have not seen that before.
Nice.
Just like Blade Runner, weird shit.
I haven't got to Arc Area 18 yet because it doesn't let me land. So, what is that meant to be food, or is it just you can buy yourself a little pet?
Might be Jean food.
Pet.
Or Banu.
Fucking, that's just cruel. I was just seeing people taking it everywhere with them and putting it on, like, do you know, like when people go around with like a doll or something and they take photos with it and all around the world. It's like that. Just get a little turtle, put it somewhere, and just this is me on Dagmar. This is little Freddy on Area 18.
They do that with garden gnomes here in the Netherlands.
Yeah,
they will steal them from somebody.
Do you know this is a so kind of relevant but so irrelevant to StarCitizen, but we never talk about StarCitizen on this podcast anyway.
We don't.
My mum had this. She had these garden ornaments, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and they stole all the dwarfs. Left Snow White because she's a bitch, but they took all the dwarfs. And Mum literally went to the local paper and posed in front of a garden with Snow White looking sad, saying, my dwarfs have been stolen, and they got returned. Someone fucking returned them. True story.
I find it funny when that person that steals them send the pictures first.
Yeah.
To the owner, And then
But they
after
would
a year, he
ransom
brings it
them
back.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's so
Yeah, I
cool.
have seen that story that they took on holiday everywhere with them and then sent
Yeah.
postcards to the owner.
Yeah. Sick minds.
Sick bastards. That person is like
Oh, genius.
worried sick what happens to their gnome.
So what is
Um,
the next subject? Because I have
so-
one thing that has to get out of my mind, and it has to do with
What?
Area 18.
Okay, well, I was going to say Arc Corp and Area 81 if you want to talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's
Go
do it. Talk about it. You
Well-
start then. Go for it.
In real life, I'm very overly sensitive for sounds. So noise is making me wild.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing that.
So when you get out of your the habitation building in Area 18, you will get in that little square, and you can see the hot dog stand on the far end. But there's this 3 different kind of music playing in the background, 2 women in the background shouting through speakers, and some sort of static noise that will follow you all the way around Area 18, except for some alleys or walking inside the
Alright.
Kaba store. You haven't noticed that? I literally can't play it. I have to turn off my sound. It's
I've noticed the sound has been really buggy in it. Like I know they're trying to establish this sort of the busy neon
Atmosphere.
Blade
yeah.
Runner
A lot of
esque
probably like
atmosphere, yeah, and like that. Fizz, taste fresh.
Yeah.
And if you're walking past that, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I get it. I want to buy a fizz, but I can't. I get it. But yeah, I think there's a lot of buggy audio around the
it's
place.
too much. Visually perfect. I was really worried that they would overdo it with all the neon and
And they
especially
haven't
the
overdone it.
holograms. Well, it could be worse.
Yeah,
But
no,
the
true.
sounds that's really making me crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is very much. I think a lot of it is sort of bugged because I know early days it was all like copy pasta Lorville noises and
Right.
announcements and things, but now
Yeah.
they're starting to put their own in. But I do think, even though the sounds that CIG produce are like really quality sounds, like the Foley, their engines
Oh.
and stuff,
Yeah.
the consistency in volume, like I was saying, about the sniper shot, they're all very unusually just not in line with each other, and so some things
Yeah.
sound loud, some things don't work, and yeah, they can be kind of like. I think Arc Corp is intended to be a bit of a mindfuck in terms of audible visual.
I think
but
if
not to the point
if
where
you ever
people
watched
can't
like
see it.
Altered Carbon, it was wasn't that the same when he was
Oh,
walking through
yeah.
the streets? It was really noisy, and then he put
That's
something on
exactly-
his ears or something to kind of like, mute it out because it was like, all right, let's do
Yeah.
my head in, so you can kind
So
of make
maybe,
it quieter.
like Lorville has those plastic bags on the head, maybe we could get some sort of Arc Corp earmuff.
Noise
Just remember
cancelling headphones.
Yeah, blocks out.
Just like the ones you have on right now, with the foam sticking out.
Yeah, foam cancelling as well. Yeah,
They're absorbing all the sound
Headphone
around it. They are.
cancelling.
It's like, but
They're literally.
yeah, I mean, don't
disintegrating.
forget, it's probably bugs, and B, it could
I
well be
hope so.
partly due to getting the balancing right of having the audio that's near you, like there's someone talking as you walk past the stall, being the right loudness,
Yeah,
and then the rest of it
proximity
being
audio.
muffled enough, like it's there but muffled that you can't really
Yeah.
understand it. It's like getting that sort of proximity balance right. I think.
Just like Cruz said in chat, it probably is a bug because it's just way too much. It's just unbearable.
If you've never been through
Sure.
a London market, everyone's saying, apple of the bear, come get you 2 pints of orange, or 2
strawberries.
come and get you 5 apples for free, come and get 5 apples for a price of free, 2 chickens, you want 2 chickens, love you, come and get you 2 chickens, we're coming
been
here.
over it, Deirdre. What a Tracy.
Oh, we're gonna have that in Manchester next month.
Possibly. I don't know.
We're going to be walking.
I'll stay
through
inside.
The heart of it. Do you know my biggest gripe with Arc Corp, Area 18, is that shuttle ride. In my head, I'm just like, there is no way in any land, in any world, that would be plausible. Like, health and safety in what it is now would just be like, fuck no, you ain't flying through that buildings. You're going to go the boring route from here to here.
Things change, Ryan.
900 years, health and safety. Like,
Health and
nah,
safety
mate.
took a
Each
dip.
to their own.
Everyone
In fact, the
revolted against
population's
it.
so high, we hope people kill themselves.
I was really amazed to see how much it changed, actually. Like complete areas split up into different areas. Well, the bridge, it's gone, or I haven't seen it yet, but can't find it.
Bridge. What bridge?
Well, the way you in the old Area
things.
18 with the cylindrical stuff that was spinning, and then behind that you had the bridge where you can stand and see all the ships going.
Oh, that's still there. You mean the one that leads to Astro Armada?
Yeah.
You are going to be blown away by that. That is my favorite spot. There is that bridge, and then below there's a lower bridge that takes you to a lower area where Dumper's Depot is. It looks phenomenal. Area 18 is big.
It's huge then.
Clearly hasn't watched my tour on YouTube, have you?
Funny you mentioned that. I ripped half of your videos out to show on stream, so...
It took me 40 minutes to... I mean, don't get me wrong, I was walking a few places. Cause
I clicked it, I thought, I'll copy that, and then it's like 40 minutes long. I was like, really?
I've been into... an alley. Let's go into the alley. Oh, there's a weird dude standing, leaning against the wall, looking at me and...
Clipping through the wall.
No, it was actually looking
was
good.
he working?
But then again, I went into this big office, and on either side of the desk, there were these... By the way.
Keep going. It's some reason it's removed Discord from that scene, so I'm going to have to re-add it. God damn it.
Not saying anything
important. Just watch the beautiful pictures instead. They can hear you now. It was only the other scene. I've come back to the original scene.
Okay. Where did we start? Where did we stop?
Yeah, what was the last thing you remember her saying?
I don't know about
the centre mass, the store.
Yeah.
So if you can find that area of the video, good luck because it's 40 minutes long. Do I, Carls? Seriously? There's so many different. Like there's also like a floor that has an office to allow you to buy property on Lawville, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now I don't know if any of that is going to be in the established. These are going to be the floors. These are going to be the offices. But it's exciting to think that when you go to maybe you go to a guild. Can you hear us, guys? Can you?
I'm hoping. Keep going. That's right. Yeah. Just it'll be the third time you repeat it. If not.
But when you go to that building and you have all those different floors, there's going to be so much to explore up there, and there's going to be different shops, different offices. You're going to be reporting to different people. There'll be mission givers up there, or there'll be places you can go. Hopefully, buy land and. I was so blown away when I saw all that. But
so far, so good.
It. Yeah, I think someone on my YouTube video, one of the comments was, "It's shit. It's a whole lot of." I think someone put it on Reddit saying it's a whole load of nothing. There's no AI walking. There's no NPCs walking around. All the shops are shut. It's just back alleys, and it's like, give them fucking time. I mean, no, I shouldn't say that about StarCitizen. They've had lots of time, but.
Give another 10 years. Give another 10 years, you'll be fine.
I can remember one of the leaked images of Area 18 where all the NPCs were standing in line, just facing one side of the wall, and that hasn't been occurring. That there are actually NPCs walking and sliding past.
It's actually,
but
sliding.
Yeah, look at Lorville. That's all of a sudden all the guards are just wonky and
it's busy,
ready
isn't
to
it?
fire. It's busy, but there could be a lot more going on, a lot more happening. But yeah, first iteration, we'll all be in there at some time. So
yeah, it's it's definitely.
Now this building that it shows now, that's the most empty building there is.
Yeah, it's just
the administration
big
office,
wooden
trading
building with about
originally,
three.
you used to be able to glitch through, couldn't you, and get onto that landing pad out back with the
Does it still have the
free?
freelancer?
Oh,
at
you
the
could
back?
glitch everywhere.
Yeah.
Does it still have the conning out the window?
Yeah, this is the one that had the constellation out the back when you could see people going back and forth carrying boxes and things. And if you faced the window and I suppose moved your mouse side to side and ran, the frame rate glitch would allow you to pass through, and then you'd be outside.
You have to back into it and then lay down, go prone, so it then put your legs out. And then when you stood back up again, you'd come back up.
Or we had our ways. We'll definitely have to do like a comparison. I think I've got footage of the old place, so.
I have. I got it as my backdrop in the thing.
You can't compare it anymore. Because it's been well, you can compare it to atmosphere and detail, but
visual,
not with location wise.
No, it's expanded a lot.
I was like, okay, first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to the G-Lock bar. You know, I know the way.
That. Yeah,
I didn't know the way. Completely somewhere else.
I know the way.
That's where it used to be.
Walk
just
out the door
past.
and turn right.
Yeah. Exactly.
That I've just literally put up because I've gone through and because I didn't expect everyone would just want to watch the full 40-minute thing. So I've gone through and sort of chopped up little bits of the walkthrough. And the latest video I put out today is purely the G-Lock bar. And out the back, there is an outside beer garden.
Yeah.
Ah, nice.
How cool is that? I can just see like one of you guys sitting there waiting for, or me sitting there waiting for you lot to come along. Cheers. Oh, Jesus Christ. Right in the ear, but in the lobes. Don't forget, we haven't got the volumetric fog yet. We've got the first pass on lighting. We've got the first pass on Arc Corp. It's going to get a lot better. Then they're going to introduce things like weather. NPCs are going to be doing more things. It's going to get really cool. It's going to feel busy, and people will be doing their day-to-day, like the NPCs will be doing their day.
What I'm really looking forward to, and it's not that I'm going to do it myself.
2 microwave melons?
Maybe I will, but people that are going to roleplay here or wherever in every interesting city or spot there is in StarCitizen, it's going to be so cool to watch and listen to the conversations they're having, for instance.
That's why I like walking everywhere.
Shaki, $5, yeah. That's most of the roleplay. That's what you'd be going for.
Slightly inappropriate.
That's
going to be clashing down on you now. That's not only racist, slightly sexist.
It's got nothing to do with racist. That's what you're going to be hearing. Right? That's what people do when they get to roleplay on these things.
Yeah. Do they? Is that what?
That's what it is. It's just that.
But yeah, it looks good. It needs to be filled.
Moving on. See, Snake Eater knows all about it.
Snake is a fantastic
Let me put my teeth back in first.
Grandma here to say hello. Hey, Phantom Killer.
But I was really
is that the beer garden?
By it all.
You couldn't even get up the step.
No, you dickhead. That's Tisha.
Oh, I thought he went up the G-Lock bar.
Not yet.
Is that where the G-Lock bar used to be?
No.
Like the guy on the left.
Because you were in the same area. Okay, never mind. I won't watch it
no,
fully.
I see what you mean. So yeah, when you come out of the sort of flight place, you go right, and then that's where technically the G-Lock is. But this is down one of the back alleys.
Okay.
She's talking to me there, I think, but she isn't actually moving her mouth.
She talked to me when I walked away, just like you do right now.
Well, maybe she likes you more.
I don't think so. But she still looks funny. There's something in her eyes that's not really lifelike.
That's what they were saying, wasn't it, about this whole thingy valley? What's it called? Uncanny Valley.
Uncanny Valley.
Yeah, if you notice, some of the AI actually look directly at you and watch you as you walk past.
Exactly, that's not him.
It is.
Well, some do it. Some do it. I was chasing a she-male last night. I was chasing. He had a big knot on his head.
Oh
He was still looking at me.
He gave him the specialized. He walked up next to him and he was like,
I gave him a wink.
Yeah, how you doing?
Yeah, it was like, you want to come back to my hub?
You wanna
moisten my easy hub? Just pause it on that.
I can't.
You've probably gone past it already on your own screen. But when you see the list of potential floors,
yeah.
Because you've got the Million Mile High Club on the ground floor, which I think should be at the top. I think that should be the penthouse. Just saying, not there. A bit further on. Oh, okay.
I know. It's because it's jumps like by a.
Yeah, fair enough.
There you go.
So I think I go straight to look at the sign. Do I go to look at the sign?
Yeah,
I go
you
to look
did.
at
I hope
the-
so. Oh, there we go.
So pause it there. So you've got so far we have Centre Mass Floor 2. You have operations. You also have on the ground floor the Million Mile High Club, which none of us probably have access to. Then the advocacy office. So that's the advocacy like the FBI.
Yeah.
Horizon Real Estate Partners. Horizon's Crusader, isn't it? It's the landing location of Crusader, the main
okay.
LZ.
Yeah.
The ICC field office is the interstellar, the stellar surveyors, the charting, whatever they call them, and all these different. I mean, I'm not sure if these are accurate to what we're going to have in this building, but if
there's loads.
There's 12 floors, and they could be filled with different guilds, all offering different missions, all offering locations to go and hang out with people of the same guild. Places where you can go and report, like if you want to claim some land, you drop your beacon down. It's probably this building, maybe not an Arc Corp, but if you're reporting to Arc Corp, that you go to then say, I want that piece of land that I've just suggested to everyone. Yeah, the cartography, not cartel. Oh, yeah. Hey,
the underground cartography cartel. We slit throats and plot stars.
Hey, man, you want to go get those stars? It's like, okay, I'll avoid them. But all these different areas, and I like this building because I think it's going to be one of the really heavily used buildings. Okay, you can continue.
Do you want me to carry on playing it? Okay. Yeah, so.
The ICC, the
cartography. Fanny Analytics.
So what?
That's gonna be my floor.
Yeah.
So the other thing that they showed off more, which was the food props and the food stalls that we talked a little bit about earlier. I thought that was quite interesting seeing those. And like, it's nice. Like, I thought they did quite a good job of those with like, the Chinese. Do
you know what's
lanterns.
funny though? When I watched that, I literally after watching ATV that night, I went to bed and finished off. I think it was like episode 8 of Altered Carbon, and
are you watching?
They literally had a bloke sat at one of the Chinese stands, glowing with light, eating his Chinese food, and it was exactly as they presented it on there. So whether they've taken inspiration, I don't know, but it looks like the way that they've done them looks mint. And obviously your character will need to eat. That's coming in, 3.7? Player status, is it?
What, if it stays.
I remember, but
like food, thirst, that sort of stuff. So your player will technically need to eat. And it's more for role players. It's not going to be, if you don't eat, you're just going to suddenly die and not know why.
Well,
you never know.
It is, right?
I don't think you'll die. I think they said it's going to be more buffs, more. See, I would prefer more of the survival stuff, but I don't know if they're going to go that far.
I hope not, because again, we're having that discussion again about having fun and realism. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I don't wash.
Yeah, but I don't mind if they made it like you could eat once a day.
Yeah, that seems fair
help
enough.
survive.
But then what is a day?
Bad.
If you're jumping from planet to planet, how do you know when a day's passed?
Well, a day is still like a body clock cycle, isn't it? Yeah.
Is it?
Of course it is. I mean, you can last longer than a day without eating. You don't have to. You don't have to wait a day for it, so it'd be a certain period of time, I suppose. So it could be more than a day. But what I meant was, I don't think you need like tons of it. But I feel like you should normally be somewhere enough that you could probably eat something, like even if it's just like a little snack or something.
I think they'll have those like basic MREs that you can just go like and eat, which will cover you for another day, or you can go all out and have like a proper pizza or Chinese meal or whatever.
I want to know where's the salad stand? It's all shit food up there.
All this fast takeaway food.
This is mostly made by Americans.
Pizza stand and hot dog stand.
Burgers.
But no, I thought it looked cool. I'm looking forward to seeing more of these props and how they do these. I think they've done a really good job of those stands. But like I said, that maybe they're used to seeing loads of that sort of stuff. But no, I think they look futuristic enough, and I don't know.
Holographic
Cool.
hot dogs. Really
I'm
cool.
just looking forward to that whole the atmospherics of the place. Like you say, hearing the conversations, proximity based, hearing like actual players or NPCs walking around discussing stuff, and like when the game's fully realized, people are there sat in a bar meeting to discuss a mission that they're going to go and do, and the sounds are all there, the weather's there, you hear the wind rustling through the thing, or you see a very rainy place. I hope Arc Corp is. It needs to be, I think, or Area 81.
Yeah. I really want to see the rain to give that extra special.
There's puddles.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about. I think the weather effect is going to be a really cool thing once they finally get it in for atmospherics. I think, so we was talking a little bit last week about the Division 2 and how they've I think Duck Force was showing it off, how the storm comes in and you can kind of hear the thunder from a while away, and then it starts crouching and it all gets dark. And I'm really looking forward to things that enhance the atmosphere a lot.
Yeah.
Have you been to Lyria?
No, I haven't visited any moons yet. No.
They kind of have. It reminded me of the Division 1. I've only played the beta of Division 2, but like when it's like you've got this sort of this snow storm that comes in, and you can just see the sun in the background, but it's making everything glow. Mm-hmm. Literally, when I got to Lyria, I was landing at the pit, and it was all like you could see snow coming past the window, and it was very foggy. It felt like there was a snowstorm coming in at the moment, and all you could see was the glowness of the sun. You couldn't make out the sun, but it was just this sort of circular dot in the middle, and it just all felt like it lit up the whole place. I felt, it felt like weather. It really did, and I thought that looked really cool. You've just had that now. It's just it looks so cool, and if they can do that sort of thing in all the different planets, like you say, lightning, thunder, rain, and all the different volumetrics they get with that. Like you have
sandstorms, which we still haven't seen.
Yeah.
When they start tackling weather, I'm going to be very excited.
Because like on the Division 1, on the survival mode, they had that with the storm, and it was like so bad you could barely see anything. That would be pretty. Imagine like flying along on your dragonfly, and all of a sudden your visibility is like literally just in front of you. Like that's going to be that would be pretty cool.
I have to say it again. I've never had so much fun on my Dragonfly. It's just the gimmick of the game right now.
We're going to have to go Dragonfly racing, I think.
Yeah.
It does feel so much better, doesn't it? It feels like
absolutely.
Well, they changed the Gravlev tape, so I think that's good. I mean, if they've changed that and it feels good, then that's what we're after. So I'm hoping. Sounds like they probably nailed that on the head. So that's really good.
I've got some footage. If you want to, I don't know if you can be bothered, but my StarCitizen Sunday, I actually put some footage of me finding a dragonfly on, I think it was Walla, and just driving around on that. It's towards the end, like right towards the end of the video, because I was just trying to do. I was literally just doing a walk around of the new Reliance, and there was a hurricane there. And I'd just seen this dragonfly, and I thought, oh.
So you nicked someone's dragonfly.
I actually meant to put it in the back of my Reliant to see if it would fit, but it crashed before I had a chance. Here it goes. Yeah, it hugs the ground. It feels like you're literally racing on the ground.
But it does still go over rocks and stuff, which is
so you can press spacebar as well.
So like the old Mario games. Old platform.
Only the really big rocks it will not skip. It will actually hit, but
that mound I've drove into.
Was it you that was racing it today, Mac? Or
no,
it was Bok actually. When I first saw Bok go on it, and they said, "Dude, donut." So he literally hit every rock I could see. It's like
I was racing with Slumdog, and that was actually really cool. He was the one that said, "Well, you really have to try the Dragonfly at the moment because it's so cool to fly that thing," and he was right. It's amazing.
And that's just one. I mean, I've not tried the Nox. I've not tried the Ursa Rope. There's so many ships I've not even touched yet, as well as ground vehicles.
Yeah, I mean,
look at this.
So someone's mentioned a long time ago earlier that 3.5 is going to be. How did that come up?
What?
How was that?
Shameless self-promotion.
I didn't do that. That must be.
Oh no, that's part of my video. Sorry, that's
That
part of
must
my
be
video.
part of his video. It's like I was like, what the fuck? I had no hands and like.
I cover all the news. Okay, it's not just what's going on in the game.
This is his speculation that it was going to be an ages shit, was it?
Yeah. Oh, I think I've got like a pair of tits coming up soon. You might want to just cancel the video quick.
Yeah, that's
No. Keep it running. Keep it running.
Let's not get banned. No, Asnog, you missed it. It was at the start of the stream. We revealed the ship, and I'll show it at the end as well. We've done a time lapse video. It's all out there. Everybody knows now. I haven't got another one, or have I? No. Or have I? That'll get you all guessing.
Bloody teaser.
Ship tease.
So, I can't even remember what we... No, another. It said Soon TM. Yeah, we just keep putting the Soon TM model everywhere else, and everyone keeps thinking, there's another one. There's another one coming. Right, what was we talking about? So, we've had that Arc Corp. So, there's like a lot of Arc Corp. I mean, we can show a lot of it off, but really, this is something that I think most of you are going to want to enjoy and see yourself. There's like Arc Corp. I got Mac's video of Arc Corp by night, which is stunning. I love all that sort of like seeing all the lights glowing and everything else. And I think, for a first iteration, they've done a really good job. There's, like you said, the shuttle bus ride. It's not health and safety, but it's cool. It looked really good the way it was working and stuff. And so one of the other things that is in, I don't know if everybody knows, but it's like all the different coloured armours. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So this is we've been waiting for a long time. So there's not been much mention of it because everyone is so excited about everything else. But yeah, so
Nice
there's already
colours as well,
obviously been lots. Yeah, we're waiting for the best bit. Orange till last. So there's obviously already moaning about people going around with. So someone said, "Let's break my immersion." Something going around with the bright coloured outfit.
It lets
It's
them
like
stand out, so if you see them, you can shoot them.
I think it was
said,
Reddit where I saw a great comment like, you could use armor color for different ranks in your organization, or
Yeah, I
whatever,
plan on having like all of my SMB members will have a particular coloured helmet.
Yeah.
Not a full suit, because I still want to be able to blend into the
unless it's
background.
orange, I ain't signing up to that one.
Oh Jesus, it has to be orange then. But no, it's like, when you think about it, I would think for civilians they would have different coloured armor. Why not? The idea of armor for the military is to blend in, is to camouflage and protect you. But there's nothing to say that if you're going out on a mission, right? Okay, guys, this is where we're going. Like, let's say you're going to Microtech, you want to have a white and black armor. You don't want to be wearing anything that's bright colours. And you would just have to have different armor pieces laid around for whatever needs you want. If you want to dress in a pink armor, then why not?
If you go to the pink unicorn planet, you're going to need pink unicorn armor.
That's true. What's
just
to
like
say
me.
that planets that are pink?
Yeah, but show my new character. I've posted in the Asylum Discord.
Oh well, but like this, right? Like, so someone says it breaks their immersion, but there's people out there now that wear all funky colours, that wear all really eccentric outfits. Like, it's people wear what they want to wear, and like this one that's on there now. It's what's wrong with it? Apart from he's got no taste, but other than that, what's wrong with it? I mean, there will always be people that don't have much taste.
Just like real life.
Yeah,
You walk on the street and you see someone in like an old woman who thinks she's still 18 and wearing a legging, for instance.
I mean, the reality.
It happens.
It happens.
You're like, what the fuck? Just take it off.
And people that are like,
Put it back on.
don't take it off, put it on.
Just
right now,
redress with a pair of jeans or a dress, whatever, but not a legging. And
don't discriminate. Let her wear what she wants to wear.
Yeah.
Poor
If she
old
wants to wear
lady with
tight jeans and
leggings.
spill out of them, you wear tight jeans and spill out
with a
of them.
huge camel toe in the...
Take it off.
Dear
Oh,
God.
not again.
See, and now, like, this is when you get to the really classy outfits that, people just wish they were wearing. Like that. Look at it.
That is cool.
It's beautiful.
I like that.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
I think this is something that we have been waiting for ages, and it kind of snuck in under the radar because of everything else. And I do think having having these custom armors. Like someone said, he goes, "Oh, there's all these people testing Arc Corp and all these people testing flight mechanics." There's me sitting in front of the computer going, "Oh, new outfits, awesome! I'm just going to sit there and buy everything." And I think when Bok was doing it, I was like, "Buy everything that's orange on the shopping kiosk." But yeah, so this is the kiosk. And like you can see, there's tons of colours, there's tons of variety, and I think some of them are god awful, but like you said, it takes all sorts. But no, I'm really glad it's in the game. It's going to be something now that we can actually use to kind of identify each other a little bit easier, and I think it's a good thing. Like, there's already people saying, "Oh, take it out, take it." These colours shouldn't be in there. No, I disagree 100%. Let people wear whatever the fuck they want. If they want to look gaudy and horrid, let them do it. I mean,
it's like you don't have to buy it.
The reality is, even in real life, if you look around, most people wear, they follow a trend, don't they? So everyone's wearing reasonably similar things, and they follow a fashion trend. These people that stand out or do wacky things are definitely a few and far between compared to everything else. So, if you want to have those people, I mean, at the end of the day, they're putting a huge target on their back. When snipers come and they can say, "Well, I'm going to shoot the pink fluffy bunny first."
It's true. Like when you think most games suffer from a lack of diversity in terms of anything, like especially on a game like this, like you say, MMOs. The amount of character customization in most MMOs is vast, and you can be completely unique, wear whatever you want, and it's celebrated for that same reason. StarCitizen will obviously eventually be as diverse as any other game, like an MMO, but it needs to get to that point. And I actually was pleasantly surprised, even though I'm not going to own half of these outfits because I don't see the point in, like yourself, if I'm going to pick an outfit, I'm going to pick one that either camouflages me or I think looks cool. I'm not going to go for like random stupid colours all over the place. But why not let people do that? And I must say, when I went into the ship request room and I saw people wearing pink and like bright orange and whatnot and different colours, I thought, I mean, not orange. Orange is mint.
What's your words?
Orange is amazing. But yeah, when I saw it, I thought, what the fuck? Why are they wearing? And I thought, yeah, they go anywhere and they're going to get shot first, like you say. So
if they're not going to do it, then there will be a whole lot of arguments and saltiness. So
yeah,
get those options in.
And we're basing everything on the fact that they're going to incorporate combat. They might not. They might be in a whole sea and not see any combat for the next 3 trips that they take. You know, true. It's not all based on fighting, combat, and an FPS shooting.
No, being an engineer, a janitor, flipping burgers, whatever.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, that's a good point though. When you look at the manufacturing side of things and the fast food thing, like they do have bright colors and things like that. And so yeah, definitely they would have bright colored outfits to go with their, like, the working outfits and things like that. So definitely
sometimes it's important not to blend, not to camouflage yourself. If you're in a, like, let's say you go, like, for example, you have high-vis jackets for a reason, because you're doing something that might be dangerous and you want people to be able to find you. If you're on a planet and you're not doing like combat where you need to blend in because you're fighting against another person, you're doing something where you may be in a load of fog and you want to be able to see each other for safety reasons, so no one gets left behind. Bright, not high. I don't mean like it's going to be reflective, but like a bright orange jumper. You like undersuit.
No, but I mean that's why people wear that high vis. That's what I meant.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Like they wear it so they can be seen, sort of thing. Like when you go running.
So there
and
are
stuff
actually
like that,
more needs. It's not all like currently all we have in the game is combat. Everyone thinks everything is based on combat. It's not, and it won't be. Like combat touches what 8% of the game.
Who doesn't like middle-aged, overweight men wearing pink lycra while they run down the street?
Or mammals? What is it? Middle-aged men in lycra.
I mean, it's a completely different subject. But why do they wear lycra when they go for a run? Like, why not just wear something more comfortable? Like, it's not like they're a professional athlete.
What makes you think lycra's not comfortable?
I visit a lot of metal
seen some of the
concerts in my life.
They're not comfortable.
And men in spandex with white sneakers and stuff is really a thing. Still is. And somehow I have respect for those guys because they're just doing what they want and wearing what they want and just living the life.
And somehow getting away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're
Not
always
anymore.
fat.
It's all right until you have to follow them when you're riding in the circle group and they're following them. It's God, you don't have to look
Oh
at
my
yourself. That's why.
Nice.
But no, it's But anyway, wear what you want. So yeah, I think that's a nice addition to the game. I think it's good that they stuck it in. It was a nice surprise. I don't remember reading about it, but I was just like, I saw someone running around in bright clothes. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I had to find out where to get it. So yeah, obviously the first thing I did was, instead of flying, I went and changed my outfit. So yeah, what was the picture you was trying to show off, Buck? Because I couldn't find it.
Excuse me. The pink lady.
Where?
Discord.
I can't. What channel did you put it in?
Oh, the Starburger linked it in chat. Maybe you can show that.
Oh, well, let me try and find it. Then.
My lovely, friendly.
Ah, there we go. Oh. Yeah, I mean, if it makes him happy.
Nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with it at all.
The things that you can do with the character creation.
Yeah, I mean, I must have been doing the character. So that's another thing, obviously, that was added. We haven't talked about is the character creation, and I must be doing something wrong. That's all I can say. Like they said, oh, there's no. Someone posted on Twitter like there's no two people are going to ever look alike. And I've seen about 10. I made a female character just to honor the females and the fact that it's there, and it looks like some Asianish blend of woman.
Yeah.
And I'm not joking, but I've seen about 10 posts on Twitter and they all look fucking identical to my one that I made. So either it is easy to have people that look the same, or most of us are really shit at using the character creation. So I've
spent a bit of time in it, but it's still quite limited in my opinion. But yeah, we will see definitely some expansion on that. More hairstyles, more facial features that can be changed, hopefully, because now it's only your eyes, the distance between the eyes, your brows, your chin, the cheeks.
But you're not, like in other games, you would get the nose and then you'd be able to move it around, expand it, expand the bridge. Whereas this, you're not actually getting to do that. You're literally picking 3 faces and you get to choose between those 3 faces. So
3 races, actually. It's the features of the races, I think, that they want you to use, like a black person, for instance, a Chinese person and a Caucasian person. While I was thinking about Black Desert, which I played for a week, and I think that was the game that had an amazing character creation tool. You could actually, just basically change everything about your whole body, because it's also only focused on your face right now. It's not your body itself that you can change in StarCitizen. Which probably will be difficult, because look how much time it took them to create all the stuff for the female character. So what if I want to create myself with a big belly and a... It's not
not going to
happen.
The character customizer is like... Because they've said about they need 50 faces for the male, 50 for the female, and we still only have the 9 faces, the original 9 faces, that we can change the features of, which is a lot less than I was expecting in terms of the character creator.
Yeah. So do we think we're going to get more?
We're going to get a much more. Like the moment there is, I don't think it's anywhere near. And they've even said about the new face tech. I think it is the starting point, just to give us a bit more diversity. I wish. Sometimes I just think, don't give us these placeholders for stuff like that. I don't think it's too important that we have like more varied characters just yet. I think if they need to spend more time working on getting it so we have the 50 faces, then fair enough. But having just 9 right now and blending between them seems a bit irrelevant. I think if we had spent a bit more time getting all of them in.
I suppose, I mean, they could have just had one male and one female, and you all looked exactly identical. But I suppose what it is allowing them to, by having like say 9-ish, it allows them to test the feature without investing huge amounts into it. So it's like, you get to change it. There's still quite a lot of variable. Like I said, although I saw like 10 people all look identical, I think it's just my shit ability to blend faces. But I think there's enough, and I think it's better than having just one. It probably didn't cost them much. I think they needed to test that feature anyway, so to have a few variables. And I think it's better for them to test it on that, see how it works before spending a shit ton of time putting 50 faces in there or 60 faces or whatever. And now they can. Now they don't really need to add any more. They can just keep working away at it in the background.
Yeah. It's like it's not going to be a concern about this whole like it took them this long to create the female. It's now they've got those things in. They're just adding more assets to the original system. It's the system itself that's built. It's not like they're building a new system. So
exactly,
as these new faces come online, just throw them in. Throw the variation of blend. The blending is it seems overcomplicated for what it is. Like I'm like, so if I have a 23% him, 13. And what?
Well,
it's
trial and error.
Simple. It is. It's big trial and error, but it should just be more intuitive than that. It shouldn't be.
That is true.
It shouldn't be a trial and error feature. But then again, I suppose it's not. It's like Stengen said. It's not a fucking skill game.
But I don't think they will get away with the fact that that's limited right now. They really have to expand it. Not only the face and the hair, but also the body itself.
I think the first time we'll see it will be Squadron 42,
DNA, like that whole blending of three faces? Why did they use that over, say, like the Black Desert Online thing?
I don't know why they do it now, but we know they're gonna do genealogy. So the idea is you have your face in the middle, and then your parents, or your parents, and your grandparents, something like that. There's gonna be blending of you choose your parents and then you're something in between. I don't know if it's going to be a little too I mean, what the fuck are they trying here or what?
So if we get that's the thing, you see, because at the moment it's like we're blending multiple people, which I think, like you said, is the idea. But is it going to be like we can do the first mother and father sort of thing in the Black Desert Online type of way, where you can change it as much as you like and then that filters down through to your character? Or is it always just going to be pick three faces, blend the three, and then
I don't think it's going to be pick three and blend. I think they're going to go more for like they're going to try and create this sort of family tree sort of thing, because that kind of then leads on to the person you leave your stuff to, like your son, your brother or whatever. I just wish that I think it would be easier if they just gave us. I mean, saying that, I'm sure when they finish it and it's all done, it's going to be amazing. But in my head, I just think give us the full customization of what we want with limits, so that people don't look completely crazy, hideous, weird, and allow us to just adjust our body type, our face size, our head size, our eyes, and because there's been so many good customizers in the past, and with StarCitizen, what I do like and I don't like is they always try and do the best of that thing, and I think it's good in the long run because it does always pay off. I've not seen anything CIG have done in the long run to try and make things really unique and different that hasn't paid off, I don't think. But it just seems overcomplicated. Yeah,
I mean, but then that's the thing. Yeah. Most of StarCitizen seems overcomplicated, and this is something we discussed quite a while back. Quite a while back, but the other day when we was playing Satisfactory, which is a game that came out recently in early access, and ignore the whole launcher, who Epic is, and blah 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 side, but the actual game is like it simplifies a lot. You're building things, you put it down, and it's like Fortnite as well, I suppose, the way the buildings build around you. And I kind of said that this was kind of what I talked about with StarCitizen. Like if we put a mining shaft down, you can imagine a box coming down and then sort of something building it up for you. And like sometimes I do feel like there should be, and we kind of joked about it, calling it like it needs a bit more magic in StarCitizen, but that's how I feel. I feel like I like the realism, but I also feel like the game's missing it's making it too complicated or too hard when sometimes just getting a mechanic in can be more fun. Like having that factory in and the way the factory was built, it's still very complex because you actually got to get the factory to work. But like you don't have to get past the complications of, well, how is this being built? Is something coming in with all the materials and then it's bringing the material and then that's picking them up and then passing it to someone that can staple it together. It's like
what Madness and I were talking about before, about the whole getting like a very premature fueling mechanic in and stuff.
Yeah,
it's like for the sake of just giving us gameplay, just give us the gameplay and then build it as the time comes along. You don't have to come up with this really in-depth version of it from day one. And I like I say, CIG, when they come up with these things, they're far bigger than I could ever imagine. Like the mining mechanic. This is why I'm not too fussed about the salvaging right now, because I can't imagine what it's going to be like. I know it's going to be incredible, but like the miner mechanic, it was way more than I was expecting for the first implementation. And I think the character. Go on.
Sorry, go on. No, I was going to say the complication of the repair mechanic when they very first talked about it, they said, you'd be able to go on the outside of your ship, you'd have to grab the piece of sheet of metal that you want, then you'd have some tool to fix the underwire side. I don't know if that was back when you had grabby hands, but like you picked everything up. Yeah. Like, can you imagine the process of trying to get to the outside of the ship with a sheet of metal in your hand and you kind of bounce along trying to get that there, then you try and with your grabby hands put it in place, and then that's how it kind of made it sound. And it's like in your head it says, oh, wouldn't that be cool? Yeah, wouldn't it be cool to all go and work on body work like a car play and spray paint it and everything else? But the reality is, no, it wouldn't be cool because you haven't got your physical hands in game. You've got a mouse and keyboard, and you're trying to pick shit up and line it up, and then you're trying to
the right thing.
Like sometimes it's easy just to say
virtual reality.
Maybe, but you know what I mean. Like sometimes it's just it's more fun to just do the mechanics. So right, okay, I want a sheet that it just puts a sheet of metal for you, and then you use your tool to fix it there, right? You don't need to do every single thing.
The big trouble they've got to find is they've got to make, like, now they've said it's all going to be skill based. They have to figure out each mechanic in a way that isn't just easy. It's got to be to a point that requires some level of skill transferred through mouse and keyboard, which ultimately the biggest skill you can have is being adept with the mouse and keyboard overall, because that's how it's going to work. But it's such a challenge to do that in terms of making a mechanic that's sort of transition through a peripheral. And I think lots of mechanics will come in that will probably seem frustrating at first, but I just wish that we had the very basic of them all, which didn't require any UI, any form of, well, not like the minimum AI, the minimum of interactions, just to give us something to do. That's all I think is worth it. Yeah, but then they can start building on it in the background, just so that we have something to get on with.
It's kind of like is it the Vulture or the Vulcan that has the drones?
Vulcan,
that's going to go out and repair and refuel. Like, I imagine that these are going to get dumbed down, and I'm not against that. Because instead of you flying and hooking all up so it repairs and you're doing the physical repair, it sounds to me more like what you're going to do is you're going to get these drones that you can control with like a remote turret almost, fly it to the ship, and then the drone will repair. Kind of like how we had the repairing going in the original repair stations, when the flying drones come out and zapped you and repaired you. Like, to me, that kind of magic is fine. I think that's all right for it to... Exactly, Starburger. Magic. That kind of magic, I don't know. I'd rather the gameplay. I'd rather the fun of being able to go, rather than if everything becomes too much of a headache to do, you're not going to want to do any of it. But then I know people will probably shoot me down or argue the opposite. If I want to be a repair person, I want it to be nice and complicated so that I can
it's got to be challenging.
Just repairing, and I don't care about fighting or cargo or anything else. I just want to repair, so I want it as complicated as possible. So I know
there's a difference
there are people like that.
that complication, fun, and challenging. I think, mainly there's a difference between challenging and complicated. If it's complicated and fiddly, then it just ruins the experience. Mining, I feel, is actually fun. I don't want to be a miner because I will find it boring, but I feel like I want to mine if I haven't for a while. Like, it's quite addictive.
Yeah.
And it's going to be built upon more, and the same with every other mechanic. I think if it's...
I mean, to me, that means you've got the balance right. Like, if you want to mine when it's not your thing you're interested in and you miss it, that to me sings volumes in they've done it
that
just right.
That bit of addiction is good. And it's like you say, not everyone... I know people that solely just want to be a farmer on an endeavor. They don't want to do anything else. They just want to have their whole family involved on an endeavor, farming away. No dogfighting, no selling other things, no trade, just farming. And all these mechanics are going to be standalone games on their own that are full enough to entertain people and be challenging enough to have an end game that you can work away at. And if you're not good at it, then you're going to get subpar results, but you're still going to earn a living. But like in real life, if you excel at something, you will make more money from it. If you don't, then you may earn a little less. If you're shit, find something else. It's
yeah.
But you'll still be able to take. There needs to be that level of like the base level of everyone can take part in it. They can do it. They can come out with the basics if they spend a bit of time. But if they really want to invest in getting good at it, they've got to invest time to train at it, and that is big balance. And that's the difficulty for CIG, because everyone is going to complain saying, "I just want to farm. I just want to be a good dogfighter." It's like, well, learn it, practice. You've got to practice.
It's the people that want to kind of multi-role, I suppose, is the best way of looking at it. So like I just said, I want it simplified because I might want to do a little bit of repairing one day and I might want to do a bit of... And you don't want it to be too complicated. But those people that want to just focus on one trade, they want it to be as complex as possible because that's what's fun to them. And I suppose that's a difficulty balance, isn't it? And I suppose the only way you could kind of do is maybe have like... a simple way of doing it, which doesn't give you much in return, but allows you to do it. And then a more complicated way, which gives you the better results, gives you more resources, more feedback, and more stuff for the work you put in. It wants to land one day.
There will be different tiers to it. Like with combat and stuff, there'll be ways. It'll be if you don't want to, if you just want to be sort of okay, if you want to be able to dogfight, there'll be ways that your ship will allow you to do that. You'll never be able to take on players, like good players, but don't forget 90% of the population will be AI. So when it comes to things like combat, you should be okay because the majority of the AI are going to suck and you will be able to take them down. But the minute you, like, I can get to level 15 in Arena Commander like that because I'm so good, but then I jump into an actual PvP and I'm like, whoa, fucking hell, they're doing all crazy stuff, and that's what it should be like. People who are good at something should excel at it, and it's going to be the same in all areas. But it's a difficult one, and did Maya just host there?
No, he just followed. It's nice.
Followed.
Yeah, it's nice. That's so nice of you, Maya. Thank you.
Maya.
After all these years of Britters and Con and everything,
did he try and sneak in and be like?
Yeah, it was like no one will see that follow in. But the thing is, I've actually got the alerts playing in my ears as well. So thank you, Maya. Very much appreciated. So I'm glad you could find your way here after many years.
Has he been on the show before?
No, he hasn't. He seems to keep turning us down for some reason. Keeps turning us down.
Oh, really? Oh, dear.
Yeah, it's one of those, busy Brits. For those of you that don't know, Maya is actually being compared at the Britters and Con, and we'll talk a little bit of that when we close up the show. But yeah, don't forget to go to Britters and Con, people.
Don't forget to go to Britters and Con.
April 27th.
That was our plug. No, I was going to do it properly at the end.
The fact it says con at the end is a pure just coincidence. It's not a con.
That's it.
It is.
Or is it?
It's a convention.
You sure?
Or is it? Ask Chris.
Which one? I totally lost the train of thought what we was talking about.
I can't remember.
So yeah, making things complicated and stuff. So yeah, basically, that's it. There's a lot happening at the end of the stream today. There is. I'm so confused. I'm going to forget it all.
It's going to be like 3-hour ending.
All right, let's do it. Let's end now. So yeah, I don't know what we were talking about, but just to be complicated things and making it easier.
Mechanics,
and I think it's the same with combat. It's the balancing of the whole thing is going to be pretty damn difficult. So it's going to be. I don't envy them in that respect, because like we said before, that you're not going to be able to please everybody, and we've kind of hinted at it before that there are some people that have backed this game that's going to turn around and go, when it's released, it's going to be, do you know what, this isn't the game I want, and it's just going to be the fact that it's just not going to be the game they want, and that will happen.
And we will see people coming in that are like that. Like when you stream it, people come in and they go like, "What's this game?" Because it's the first time they've seen it, and they're going to be blown away, and they're going to be like your average gamer, like COD player or what, like, no offense, COD players, you suck, but they're going to be the average gamer that are just more casual gamers. They're not like, I'm a hardcore sim kind of guy. Like the reason why I followed this game is because I saw a cockpit of a Hornet and simulating physics in that demo, and I thought I was following all sorts of simulating, like Euro Truck Sim, and I wanted that. But when Chris Roberts was saying and I think this goes around all mechanics, not just FPS, he wants it to be a mix between Armour and Battlefield. The realism of Armour, but not too real, and the fun of Battlefield. And I think it's going to be a mixture of the two in all areas of the game. But for the casual gamer that sees it and comes in and backs it because it looks pretty and it looks cool and you can walk around in your ships, as soon as they actually start playing it, they're going to be like, okay, this is hard. But you've noticed more and more games are taking this route. Don't get me wrong. A lot of the AAA games are still doing this seems to work because everyone wants Battle Royale. But like Red Dead Redemption, AAA game for the everyday gamer, are doing more role-play stuff. They're doing more. You're able to go into first person and look at individual items on shelves. You can brush your horse and feed your horse. You can polish your guns up. They're starting to take the route of role-play. And I think a lot of people are wanting this kind of game of that much depth. And I do think people will find it's not for them, but I think if they really looked into it, they would find something that suits them in the game that they can do, and things that they won't like. Even if it's just Arena Commander and Star Marine, they can just play that, not play the real game.
Well, out of all the games, I think that StarCitizen will be definitely one of those games that will, serve the most variety in gameplay, and hopefully can serve everybody what he wants. But only people that are focused on only one piece of particular gameplay can be turned down. There's nothing you can do about it. But if you're just like, I like mining, I like dogfighting, I like trading, just like in Elite Dangerous, for instance.
Like ERP.
Then you can always be entertained and do your own thing and whatever. So in that way, StarCitizen's going to be a great game with choices.
Like Star Wars Galaxies was a good example of terms of what people are willing to do or not willing to do. Like the amount of people that role played in that and they just wanted to be a crafter and craft the best armor, and some just wanted to build houses, and some just wanted to dance. That's a film, isn't it? But they just wanted, people literally picked the entertainer class and they just danced in pubs, and that's all they did.
Yeah.
So it's
if they want to, just do it.
Yeah. And I think this is going to be probably one of the games that's going to be closest to Star Wars Galaxies in that respect, in that people, if they want to role play a certain thing or do a certain thing, they're probably going to be able to. If they just want to focus on that, they can.
There will be people that do, like if you have like the Master at Arms in the Squadron 42 demo, who just literally looks after the firearms on board of a ship and hands them out. If I'm in the mood and I don't want to be a captain of a ship or dog, I will just play the next 2 hours making sure all the weapons are organized on that boat, and people that come to me and say, "Can I have a weapon?" "Yeah." "Why do you need it?" "Yeah, okay, there you go, have this one." And I will happily, but even as a fucking janitor mopping the floors, people are going to literally role play the shit out of that.
Yeah.
People want that kind of gameplay now. Not forever, not like day in, day out, but for the sake of one day, all right, let's fanning around with a mop. So there's something for everyone.
My floors need to be the cleanest floors in the pub. I make sure I sweep every day to make sure this is nice and clean. Yeah. This is why I've been doing this for 50 years, my friend. And that's all I'm going to do until I
It needs to be skill-based, though.
It's got to be skill-based fun.
Skill-based sweeping.
Don't mop yourself into a corner.
To the right.
We've all learned that genuine rule of when you're mopping, and I see it like when I used to run the pub and I'd get someone mopping for the first time, I would let them do it and I'd just be like, I'll wait, because they need to learn, but they're not going to learn by me saying, careful, you're going to mop yourself. They need to go into a corner and be like, and you can just see the cogs like, hang on.
No escape.
Where do I go from here?
It's going to be worse with painting. Mopping is just water.
You put your Crocs on and you walk just where you mopped and it's fine.
Oh, but basically the guys like Burt Black and all of those, his crew, they are so funny and good at role playing. So I definitely gonna see that happen a lot in StarCitizen. Hell, I think I would be even doing it myself at one time. It's very encouraging to see what kind of gameplay comes out of that sort of stuff.
People
really
love
nice.
Those videos, especially when everything is like. There's something I remember being on a Reclaimer when we first got it launched, and I think I was just streaming. I don't think I was doing a video, but I literally said to everyone, like, when I walk through, I want to show off the Reclaimer. So be at a station. Be somewhere. Don't just be like running around naked, laying down and waiting for the streamer to go past so you can sort of be the naked guy crawling around on the floor with a top hat. Look like you're actually part of the ship.
Write that idea down.
And normal. And like I turn around and there's someone like this, like dip, potato chip. Like just fucking go and find something to do. And so they rush off and you walk through and there's someone on the station. There's someone sat at the mess hall. You know, they're actually doing something. And I love role play, but I don't like acting. But you can still do both. You don't have to be like, you don't have to put on an accent and act like someone else.
That's what people mistake what role playing is. You don't have to do that.
You don't have to be someone else. You just have to be in game.
You literally just
it's
play
extra
your
funny
role.
though.
It is if you can do it. It can be funny, and like people, it's weird because it's a weird thing with gamers. It's like you know, like when people used to take the piss out of gamers, and you've got the people that don't game, and they always take the piss out of gamers. It's like you spend ages like being scared to say you're a gamer because it's like everyone would mock you, and it's kind of like that with role playing. It's like everybody seems to love watching the role playing, but if you say to someone, "Oh yeah, I do some role playing," and it's like, fucking weirdo. And like other gamers are looking at roleplayers going, you fucking weirdo. And it's like, but it's the most entertainment. It's how you like. So I've been like a role player from like when I played Dark Age of Camelot. I actually had a role playing guild, and I've done it all the way through. And to me, it's the most fun in the game because you get right into your role, you get right into what you're doing, and it's just funny as fuck. And the things that come up, and you just keep going on with what you think your character would do. Like I say, you don't have to do funny voices. It's just literally thinking, well, my character is a bastard and he's going to be rude to everybody that turns up, and then you become a bastard and rude to everybody that turns up. You don't have to put on funny voices and stuff, but it just gives games that extra level of fun, in my opinion. But it's just funny how like gamers look down at you as almost like, oh my god, you fucking role plays. And it's like, we're supposed to be together. Come on, we're all gamers. This is where we're supposed to bond together and agree that it's not. We're gamers, man.
It's
gamers.
just like Maya said. If you watch Lyric, and I watched him last week, he's playing. He's now playing a Japanese fighting game. But before that, last week he was playing GTA 5 again, and playing some black dude smoking cigarettes, stealing cars, and being all tough and shit. And basically, Lyric is just being Lyric, swearing and cursing and just doing some shit, and it's just funny. And it works. It works.
I mean, StarCitizen is pure roleplay. It's like it's designed for people who want to, you know, without even trying. That's why I fucking walk everywhere. It annoys if I'm on my own, playing on my own and recording video, I will walk everywhere and just like put the weapon down, you know, like so you walk.
Yeah, but
it's not
that's
convenient
because you're recording the video. If I'm just actually playing the game just for playing the game, Yeah, I'm not gonna walk. I'm just gonna want to go as fast
I don't
as
walk in
possible
fucking
from
real
A
life.
to
You think
B.
I'm gonna walk in?
No,
game?
I do it the other way
It
around.
really depends on the situation.
I do it the other way around. When I'm recording,
Yeah,
I go quicker because I feel like people, especially when I'm streaming, when I stream and I sort of forget I'm streaming, I'll be walking to the ship thing. Everyone's like, "Fucking roleplay walk." And I'm like, "Sorry, I forgot," and then I'll sprint to the thing. But I think when streams are on, it's best sort of. Well, it varies, doesn't it? There's no.
No, it's
true
what
way
you'd
of
want it to
streaming.
be. There's no
Yeah,
right
you
way
do
of
what you
playing it. If
want,
you want to
yeah.
just, like you said, the role playing is actually, people enjoy that more than you think. And it's like, as like Crew says there, like roleplay, I think the part of the problem with roleplay is people, it's like it had a bad name from earlier days because basically it was like sex roleplay. That's all you would happen, and people would find a corner.
Why is
and they'd
that
be
a
like,
bad name? What's wrong with that?
Oh, let me take your clothes off. Oh, you look so beautiful in that armor, and it'd be just like all that, like constantly. And you see them, they're talking in chat, and then they accidentally. Oh, there was a really funny one in Dark Age of Camelot, but I can't remember it totally. But it was like they was having sex chat in role playing in in Dark Age of Camelot, and then someone typed it in the wrong channel, so it went global for everybody on the server, and it was all like it's all about opening the gates and using their stiff RAM to open the gates and everything else. Is this big thing? It's like, oh no. So yeah,
there's different levels of like gaming roleplay, and to me, I don't. People can roleplay all they want, but I would rather people just. In my terms of roleplay, is if I'm on a bridge, I'm not going to be like discussing Coronation Street or whatever the hell's been going on in the world, like Brexit or something. I'm going to be trying to use the correct terms, trying to be the captain or whatever, and just say, like, go to the brig, absolutely, like, take him to the brig because he's pissed me off or whatever. I'm not going to be like putting on a character. It's going to be me, but we're going to be in the game world, and that to me is enough roleplay. If people want to take it further, then fair enough, and take on a full character and whatnot. My second character has a proper name, and I'm going to come up with a whole backstory. But I'm not going to try and be someone who I'm not, because firstly, I can't do accents to save my life. I wish I could. If I could, I would probably do more roleplay. And secondly, I never even thought of a second reason. The number one reason is more than enough.
Why do you need an accent to roleplay?
Because
you've got an accent from where you're from. It's not. Of course you can.
It's about how the story you tell.
It's about how you act,
accent.
not about how you speak. So it's like if you want to be a cleaner, it's about telling people not to walk on your fucking floor because you just mopped it. Doesn't matter what accent you use. Yeah,
you mean like
Leon?
Leon?
Cleaner, exactly. Doesn't stop miserable. Yeah, cheers, JR. Thank you. Appreciate that. That's it. I mean, if you watch any of my D&D streams, my accents go all over the British Isles, all from one character. It's like, I can't remember how I did this one last week.
No, my
British accent is pretty good. Yeah, you do that British accent. Most people think you're Scottish, so there you go. You're already putting on an accent. It sounds nothing like Scottish.
Mix of loads of random things. I don't know where. But I always find I'm very influenced by other accents.
Yeah, like I am as well. If you're in a group, yeah.
Yeah, you suddenly start doing the same thing. Like when I went to America, to Cali, every sentence I did, it went up at the end. So every time I said something, it would just end really high, as if you're asking a question every 2 minutes. And it really annoys when I got back. When I went to Germany for like the festivals and stuff, it would just
be shouting.
It was just constant. Yeah. And it's like, what the fuck? Where did that come from?
It does. It's like when you're in a group, like I have a group with that Irish person there or something, you start picking up their twang or whatever, and it's like, oh god, I'm not taking the piss, honestly, it's just natural, to be sure. It's like sorry. Anyway, that's the way it is. But yeah, you don't need an accent to roleplay.
That's just the way it is.
Okay, we got some questions and then we'll round it up because I've got a lot of troll questions, pretty much. Unless anyone else has anything specific they want to go through, but we'll do the questions first. So apparently I asked myself, who am I really? But really, who am I? So yeah, that's that one.
What?
Dread Pirate
Drugs.
Roberts asked Sucky $10. Thank you.
That's not a question,
referenced-
that's a demand.
Superman Brothers Ryan, where are you? Have you run out of salt for madness? Okay. Little bit. I'm
This
really
whole
loving the
process
questions
of
this
asking
week, folks.
questions
Really loving
It's
it.
flawed. It's so flawed.
A little bit of madness. Why so serious? That probably is actually a proper question. Chris Franklin asks, will you paint me with chocolate? I'll tell you after the show. The Tortoises asks, fuck's sake, can you paint your logo on my shell, please? I've got 9 questions and this is all of them. Right, next one is Maya, and he asks, what would you like me to ask Brian Chambers at BritizonCon? Can you
What
ask
shampoo?
him to come onto the stream, please?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Back
yeah.
to streaming.
Wasn't it you last year, Mike, that was literally grabbing all the devs and dragging them to the
We
stream?
had everybody just grabbing the devs. Every time we walk past, it's like, you, get here.
Yeah. Like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We need
Wait,
them to
I
have like
didn't
name
ask
tags. So awkward when you're like, sorry, I can't remember your name. Clive
Yeah.
John.
Oh, you're a dev, aren't you? Yeah, but that was the beauty. We said it when we interviewed them. So me and Mac, when they were like interviewed, it says like,
Yeah.
so first of all, let's start off. What is your name and what do you do for CIG? It's got nothing to do
we
with the fact that
originally-
we don't know it.
Yeah.
But it's like, just tell us, what is
We
your name?
discussed it beforehand. It's like, can you remember all the names? You're like, no. Okay, well, we'll do what Jared does and just go, who are you and what do you do for StarCitizen? And then when they say it, we're like, right, okay, Clive, Ricky.
Pretty much. So, I don't. What should you ask Brian Chambers? Where has he been? That's what I want you to ask him.
Yeah.
Like, why
Their
is he
policy
not?
change.
Camera.
Like, where has he disappeared to? There's no tweets, no anything. Next question. Oh, God. Chris Franklin. Why do you sound like me no matter what accent you do? Somehow I feel like I'm being trolled here tonight. Just a little bit.
Really?
Just a little bit. And
Is that one question we've had?
Mrs. May, so Brexit, any thoughts? Right, okay. Thanks, guys. I'm glad we went through those questions.
She will not survive this week.
She's literally at home right now going like, why do they think I'm trolling them? Why can't they answer my question? She's genuine. She wants to know.
Yeah, I've run out of asking fucking just literally everybody. Let's just ask these weird fuckers that are talking about StarCitizen. They'll know what to do about Brexit. Anyway, so yeah, that's all the questions. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate all those troll questions.
Crazy Tonk guy, not the actual Crazy Tonk guy, but the real Tonk guy. He's having
left.
to quit, hasn't he? Now he can't stay because
Yeah.
of Brexit. That's a big enough loss in itself.
It is.
Because then it's not just Tonk. We have Romp. We have Rover. We have, like, if the Rover won't fit up the Romp, will the Tonk? He's literally created his own language. It's not French.
You don't know what
I've
you're
heard
saying
French
there.
people talk.
Maybe he's talking Tavarian.
Tavarian.
Is
Tavarian, yeah.
Definitely
the
French.
start of the Tavarian talk.
Yeah, I like that guy.
I mean, like some of the rumors were that we got a new flight model because the guy that did the flight model before was quit and they didn't know how to run it. So they made a whole new flight model. How true that is, I don't know. So maybe we're not
John
going to get the
Pritchett
Tonk
left.
anymore. Yeah,
Didn't he?
but people are saying that they couldn't understand the flight model after he left, so they couldn't build upon it. So that's why they started again with the new method. Just a rumor.
It could be that he just went really way
just
too
a
far
rumor.
with it. Sabotaged
You know,
it
he
before
knew it
left.
all, and they couldn't. Yes, fuck you guys. But yeah, that's that. So, what were the things we were going to do to round up the show? Is anything else you want to talk about before we try and remember the 1,000,001 things I said I was going to do?
Roll the tape.
Roll the
afterwards.
tape. No,
Roll
that was one of them. So, unless anyone comes up with anything. So, one of the things was BritizonCon. If you haven't bought your ticket yet, if you live in the UK, if you don't live in the UK, don't care, buy your ticket. I was supposed to put that on the thing down below the stream as well, but no, yeah, anyway. Get your tickets for BritizonCon. I think all the VIP ones have actually sold out now, which has a lovely little freelancer model made by JRDF. But yeah, you can't you can't get them anymore, I think. However, if you want me to paint them, you're more than welcome to send me them and I'll paint them for you. I think I've got a link. No, did that not work on the bot?
It was working, but
It was earlier. My bots cried.
oh,
It
it's
should
not working.
be working. Why is it not working? It's not on there. That's why it's not working. Yeah. So we'll add that later. No, it should be on there. It should be on there.
It was working before. Desmarius used.
Yeah, Desmarius is the bot. So there you go.
Right.
So BritainCon, there you go. Link to it. BritainCon.uk. It's in Manchester. It's being held in the Mozzie, which is the something science museum-y thingy.
Being held in.
Holding.
Being held in the.
Being held.
You speak a good English.
It's being Look, fuck
Been
you.
held.
You can't even do an accent. Don't talk about me. It's being
my
held
accent.
in the Mozzie Science Place. It's on the 27th of April,
7th,
but it's going to be a bar citizen on the Friday, the 26th of April. Mac has booked. I don't even know what that bar is now.
Brewhouse and kitchen.
Brewhouse and kitchen for Friday.
It's only been
so we're
3
gonna have
years in a row.
Yeah, we're going to have Bar Citizen. It's the same place it's been every year. That's because we can't think outside the box. And that was
It's not.
literally
It's because everyone loves it. We thought about the box, and then we realised the box was too big, and we just need to keep the box small.
Yeah, it's because it's basically near where the Manchester office is. So the Bar Citizen is there on the Friday. The actual event is on the Saturday, and then after the event, the Bar Citizen is, I don't know because they haven't told us. Those that can't make it, why not? But no, if you can't make it, Mac and I and possibly some others I don't know will be streaming that day. So we'll be streaming live from the event if we don't have technical difficulties, which we normally do. If we're not hungover like we normally are, and there's pretty much loads of clauses just in case, so that we don't necessarily have to do it. JRDF, Cal's, Big JR, they're all going to be there as well. They're going to be showing off their PC crates. They're going to be showing off their desks. They're going to be showing off hopefully some models, but we don't know about that. So yeah, you'll be able to go and meet them, go and ask them about all the installs
models
they've done, go and pester CIG and tell them how much you want JRDF to make your future models, and all that sort of shit. There is a link, I think, for their website somewhere. God, I'm really not prepared for this. So yeah, go and have a check out their website as well. But it's much better to go and meet in person. They're such a wonderful bunch. So that's that piece. Wonderful bunch. They've got a couple of nutters working for them, but other than that, they're wonderful. Yeah, there is actually. There you go. Thank you, Kals. Go and follow that link. Someone, Warren, I think, in the US, just posted out his Aegis desk that they made for him, which he's in love with. It looks amazing. I think they've made a fridge for grey-headed gamer. They've done a tests computer crate and things like that as well. So yeah, awesome. And yeah, as Cal said as well, I think one of those freelancers is actually going to be given away as a raffle prize at BritainCon. So if you really want one, you'd be able to enter the raffle and potentially win it. So that's that. Any other announcements? There was some other stuff, but I can't. Like I said, there was I left it all to the end. Thank you, everybody, as always, for the follows, for watching, for the support, the donations, the subs, and everything else. Hopefully, Madness and myself and everybody else will be getting, or Madness and myself at least, upgrading our audio equipment so we sound a bit better and don't keep getting these fucking issues that we always get. So yeah, we really do appreciate the donations. They've been a big help. Big Benny's storage crate. Yeah, the abuse. And that's all that, really. So, Mac, do you want to tell everybody what you're doing next week? Thanks for the abuse.
Same as this week, I think. Streams, videos, 3.5. Yeah, that's about it. Just keeping up with keeping up.
Keeping up with keeping up. Okay, that sounds good. And Bok, yourself.
I'm getting back to StarCitizen.
Are you going to be streaming
forward.
a bit more?
Yeah, that's definitely the plan.
Cool.
Because I'm just not able to find a secondary game to play on stream, which I really, really enjoy, and also to stream itself.
Mhm.
But flight model will get me occupied. Trying to get back into more PvP and stuff. But for now, when it's still in the PTU, it's all about testing out how it goes, what will change, what will be better, what get worse. Well, you know how it goes.
Exactly. I do.
All too well,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
I mean, basically, it goes 2 minutes of flight, lots of explosions. That's how it goes for me.
Exactly. Or error
I've
30,000.
never had so many explosions going around that first racetrack for the Murray Cup thing. So many explosions. It's ridiculous. Absolutely. Don't take a Reliant out on the racetrack. Or do, because it's fun. But don't if you want to get a good time. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. I'm going to play out the time-lapse video that I've done for painting the Vanduul Hunter that we shooed off at the beginning of I really can't talk tonight. That we showed off at the beginning of the stream. Make sure you go and follow on Twitter and go to our YouTube channel and give us a follow on there, please, because you can watch the video there. I may well upload some non-time-lapse pieces to explain what I was doing for the Hunter. We'll see, because I know Bok wanted to see some. If you want to see anything like that, I've also got some painting time-lapse videos of painting the little mini dragonfly models and some of the diorama for the Kraken that I did for CitizenCon, which I've still got to get round. I've still got to get round to doing. So go and give us a follow on YouTube, and you'll be able to get to see that. So !Asylum in chat, and that'll give you the links to that. Almost there. And finally, go and retweet everything and go and give me an upvote on the community hub thingamajig. !Hunter in chat will give you the links to the video and to the community hub. I very much appreciate it. Enjoy the painting, and we shall see you actually not next week, because it's my birthday, so I'm away. So I don't know if there's even a show next week.
Cake for everyone.
So we'll see you the week after. But thanks, guys. As always, we really do appreciate the support, and enjoy.